we are honest about God, it's called worship. When we're honest to believers about God, it's a testimony. When we're honest about God to unbelievers, it's called a witness. And it's the audience that we're speaking to is the way we bring it about.
Right.
And when we're talking to unbelievers, as you're talking now, when we talk to them, we have to bring it to them in a measure that we feel like that will not be overwhelming to them, that they'll understand. And sometimes we don't understand how to do that. You can't jump on an unbeliever and overwhelm them. Lead them into whatever you're discussing with them. Start with something maybe in the natural that will lead into that. And that's the difference in testifying to a believer and witnessing to an unbeliever.
She said witnessing to an unbeliever. I know when she finishes talking, all I know is I want a bunch of kids to surround her and put their hand out, look her dead in her eye, and ask her, "Where's that candy, sister?" Because that's one of them church brothers that's carrying that good candy.
She got candy.
She got that Werther's original.
Werther's.
The caramel candy. Not just that plain peppermint. Nah.
That's funny.
Jesus been following her through the candy aisle. She picked out the right one for that. No, I like that. When I heard that, I was like, that was kind of cool.
It was dope.
You know, it's a healthy reminder, especially hearing older, saints say that stuff, and me, who still thinks he's not that old as the seasoned saints, but have the same sentiments. Like when you reaching out to an unbeliever, or just being a witness with your life, you know what I'm saying? Just not overwhelming them and really be thinking about that. Like, this might be just too over their head, and I don't want to be beating them up. I really want to meet them where they are. And I think all of us are good at that.
You know who else we need to keep track of is that new person to our circle. Because we over here on a reformer circle with the Pipers and the Sproles and Eric Mason and all of them, and they swimming in the deep end of the pool. They talking, so we going through the doctrines of grace. We in Romans 9.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about, I'm talking about at my church, like my pastor's going through this series, and one of the things about these churches that do this, they just preach through whatever's next, and if it's a tough topic, we just got to fight through it. And so the way we do it at our church is we'll go through the sermon on Sunday, and then at our Bible studies midweek, we'll do like a sermon review.
Yeah.
And I was in the middle of one, and somebody was like, "Yo, this is a lot." This person's a social worker, kind of like what Boogie does. And she was like, "This is hard for me. Like, I go into homes and see like the worst of society, kind of like what cops or ER techs and EMTs would say.
Yeah.
They see some of the worst of society, and they just have a hard time seeing a loving, faithful God supervising all of this seemingly chaos."
Yeah.
Right. And then we start talking about like the doctrines of grace, where God has sovereignly passed over somebody, and she was like, "This is a lot to wrap my head around."
Oh yeah.
And my man hit her with the law. Like, who are you, mere mortal? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Who are you, mere mortal?
And
really, like, in context, the person who needs to hear that is the person who's like, "That's stupid. Why would the creator?" The person who got that perspective, the smart mouth, scoffer dude, that's who you hit with the law.
Yeah.
Or who are you talking to, mere mortal? That's who you do that to.
Yeah.
But the very next verse was like, "Hey, he's doing this for a purpose." That's the grace. Like, you give grace to the confused.
Yeah. Yeah.
You give the law to the scoffer. You give the law to the dude who's standing over the word. Like, that's stupid. No, God wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
A real God wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No, but this person was confused. They weren't challenging God.
It wasn't time for that, bro.
It wasn't time for that. And that's what I hear your girl saying. Like, hey, everybody's not ready to beat you up over what you saying. They just ain't heard this stuff the way it need to be heard sometimes. And you can... whatever you could, it's both. It's gonna be both. It's gonna be scoffers and it's gonna be confused people, but they don't get the same treatment. The person that's confused is supposed to get grace. Here, come on, bro. Let me show you. Here, sis. Come on, let's talk. Let me go get my wife. Let's talk about it. The scoffer is supposed to get that law. Like, who are you, mere mortal? right? But that's not everybody.
And you know what? We don't be. This is what I would like to see more on, especially online too, is us giving the scoffer the blues. Like, we don't be giving the scoffers nothing. We be sitting quiet. And it was something from when I was watching that interview that Sarita Lyons said.
Okay.
That, like, people be going off and we be like, oh, I don't want to smoke. I'm just going to fall back and be. And it's like, nah, that's the person that you need to be letting off on and being bold. It ain't always grace. You need to be praying for some boldness in some of these scenarios. And I'm like, she right about that. Because we'll fall back. But some of these dudes, these scoffers, especially the scoffers, need to let them have it.
That's real. But I mean, by the time this person finished talking, they were in tears, man. They were not challenging God. They were just genuinely distraught with all of this stuff. And now you adding these heavy, heavy doctrines on top of her already tough job. Bookie, I don't know how you feel about the stuff that you see in social work is different from what we see in the corporate world. It's not the same, yo. I don't know if you want to talk about it, but that she was like, and I was like, you have a right to be sad. You know, you get to be sad, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to apologize for being sad. Yeah. You don't have to apologize for being confused. Mm-hmm. But somebody wanted to hit her with the law, and I was like, I didn't do nothing. I just let him finish, but I tried to pull him aside later, like, hey, let me let you see another side of this.
Yeah.
Because you sound more confused than challenging. That's what I hear your girl saying on that clip. That was dope.
And I think that's just, the heavy-handed cats in the name of the Lord. I know they don't all mean malicious. They don't have malicious intent, most of them. I think they, really want to help people, but they have to understand that, you got to handle the truth. I think the Bible prescribes gentleness and with respect. And that doesn't mean that you don't say the hard things, but you just don't have to say it in a way where somebody walks away like, boy, he's a jerk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just different. It's like what you said. Like, some people need to get checked, but you can tell who they are. They got that smug, arrogant attitude. Like Pastor described as, they stand over the word to cast judgment. But some people ain't.
Who was that in the Bible? They was going at it, and it was one of the prophets, and they was going at it with somebody, and he was taunting them like, "Where's y'all God? Is he on the toilet?" Who was that said that?
That was Elijah at the Mount Carmel. They was battling.
So I'm saying,
they wanted their God to do something.
So I'm gonna have moments like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's usually against somebody who is clearly, going against the word of God or what have you. So I'm a clown in that way I can. I feel like I got liberty for that cat. But for that girl that you talking about, it ain't time for you to be coming at them like that. And I've seen that a lot. Like,
that one size fits all. Like, you got a hammer for everything. Now everything is a nail. Everything not a nail, dog.
Nah.
To a hammer, everything is a nail. You just be bashing people's head in. That's a dope clip.
I was going to say, which brings me to the first thing. This is a hot topic of the week. And I know we missed the toast. We're going to get there in a minute. Trust me, we're going to get there. But this whole Marcus Rodgers versus Preston Perry situation.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me tell y'all something. Bookie, when you sent that text to me with the video, because you was the one who sent it in our text, I didn't know who Marcus Rodgers was.
Really?
I had never seen any of his videos, right? My wife clearly knew who he was when I mentioned him. So I had watched a couple of videos. She sent me like 3. And I watched the first 2. And with no history, I was like, I can see where, he's a little extra spiritual, whatever. But I don't have any history of this dude from the first 2 videos. So I'm like, whatever, heavy-handed, type cat. But didn't put him in the strange.
He means well. He seemed like he means well.
Exactly. That's what I caught.
I will say that.
But the third video I watched, that was presented, it was another brother in the Lord that was putting him on blast, because your boy was when Trump ran the last time,
2020.
Your boy was like, the Lord told me he gonna be president.
Yes.
Well, guess what we do to people when that stuff don't come to pass? Now, thank God it ain't the Old Testament and we don't stone you, because that was the prescription back then.
We'd had a rock party.
Exactly. But I can turn my ear to you and mark you as false prophet. You out here is talking about God said this, God said that. And he was, man, it was so sad, because the boy was like, y'all saw me, I was out in the woods and the light was shining behind me and it was hitting the tree. And I'm like, dude, is this kind of stuff you relying on? Like, because I'm just going to open up my Bible and see what it says and all that. But he do too much of that. The Lord told me last night, how many videos you said? Because I've seen several after that. The Lord spoke to me last night, you know, and how we know it was that and not some spicy chili you had that had you up seeing things or whatever. So stop it. You know what I'm saying? First of all, once I got to you've solidified yourself as a false prophet, I'm done listening to you. That's
so can we do this? Can we do the toast in his memory today? Because this guy, Marcus Rodgers, is the poster child for what we need to avoid, especially when we care. Absolutely. Because I know the dude that don't care, he gonna wild out. He gonna do everything. He gonna run through the church. He gonna sleep with everybody. So is the girl. She gonna do whatever. Yep. This dude actually care. So run that.
Everybody raise your glass. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's jump into this, because we got to get back to that. Hold up. Here we go. We all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this.
Just like Marcus Rodgers. I'm just going to say it, because I've been watching for a long time. And the one that he been hanging his hat on lately is he had some kind of thing that said he was like slandering Maverick City.
Yeah.
He was slandering Maverick City. Like, I don't appreciate what they're doing. You can see that the devil's in this. This is not God. This is the devil. Meanwhile, Maverick is blessing all of us for like years. Yeah. And we are clearly like benefiting from their ministry.
Absolutely.
But he's like, something carnal. There's something carnal the Lord revealed to me, like all that. And I'm like, bro, if you watch me long enough, you can say the same thing about me. Come on, man. Like, it's not. And then something broke where somebody in Maverick City went and did something that he wouldn't approve of. And I was like, I told you. Don't worry about that Trump prophecy I messed up. I had this one right. What?
That's what I said. And then I told my wife, because she sent me those 3 videos. I was like, you should have led with the third one. Because the first 2 was like, all right, you know, a little extra, but a
little superstitious.
But the false prophecies, like, bruh. And then apologized for it. Yeah. And then walked back like, nah, my apology, you know. Nah, I still
think it was God. I think y'all stole the election.
Bruh, get out of here. Do you know how many solid preachers and teachers that's out there right now I can be listening to? I'm not finna waste my time on you. And I don't care how many millions of people, because millions of people stop and look at car crashes, bruh. So don't play the numbers. Don't be this pragmatist.
No, God wouldn't be blessing me with this following if I wasn't in his will.
Please, bruh.
Benny Hinn?
I think his job, he feel his job is to expose the bad Christians, the bad,
like G. Craig Lewis.
Yeah, that's who came to mind when I first, started going through his videos. I was like, this is G. Craig 2.0. 2000.
He's picked up
G.
the
Craig
mantle.
2K right here.
Yes, sir.
And so like his job, he feel like his job is exposed. The problem when you feel your job is exposed and you have bad theology or bad doctrine, it don't work out good. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it don't. You might want to look in the mirror and expose yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't work out.
Turn my headphones up a little bit, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That is amazing.
Nah, it's just like, and then of course after that, solidifying, okay, this is a false prophet. I don't have to really like listen to this dude. Let me see what else he's doing. Yeah. And so, I jumped into this Preston thing, like what was going on. And by this time it was over, and I just started looking at the live, but the worst part, and I think this is where where Preston really felt bad because Preston got, caught up and he was a little emotional, and then he started stuttering a lot. And he started making that dude look like he was credible because Marcus was like more calm, like doing the exchange. And I'm like, man, this ain't going right. This ain't looking good. And I know what Preston was trying to say, and I know what he was, pushing at that moment, even though he came back and was like, I was emotional, it was a little extra, whatever. I knew what he was saying, but I also understood the point Marcus was trying to say as well. And he was just trying to push the fact that not just the song thing, the joke about the song and the fire coming down. It wasn't that. It was Jackie saying at some point, and I've seen her say that a few times. I remember when she said it with Kev on Stage, when Kev on Stage used to try to do like these ministry talk days, but Jackie Hill Perry came out there and blew it up, and that brother was like, back to the comedy, back to the jokes, but
too serious.
She talked about still wrestling with the same-sex attraction sometimes, like it kind of comes up. So his thing was, you can't be wrestling with that.
Okay,
you need to be asking God to deliver you from that, because that is not from him, and that means that's from the devil, and you can get deliverance from that.
Can I ask you a question? Which of our sins are natural? Which of our sins are from God?
None of them. You know
so
what I'm saying?
Then which of them would have to be from the devil?
It's like
there is a third party in this conversation. This goes back to what you're saying, Buki. I think you nailed it. You're a heresy hunter who hugs up with heresies all the time. It's not gonna work out.
It's not gonna work out. Not like
it's
that.
It's not gonna work out. Like, you think that everything is either from God or from the devil. Nothing is just a part of your sin nature.
Nah.
So if I say that, man, I looked too long at that last video, I shouldn't have watched that.
Yeah. Whatever
video, Victoria Monet, you know what I mean? Somebody fine. So I watched the video. Song is dope. I watched a little too long. Buki, my fault. I shouldn't have watched that long. Right. I just watched the music video. I ain't talking about nothing crazy. But I know that's in me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I need a demon deliverance. What's going on?
That's it.
Because that's what you telling somebody. Your wife needs her demon delivered. That's what you told somebody's husband.
Yeah.
Your wife. I mean, I'm watching this man tell Preston, your wife need to be delivered, fam. Yeah. She's still, like, he didn't say it, but she's still in that. If she feels anything towards that Victoria Monet video like I did. So if she see that and she watched too long, she's still in it because that's unnatural. Like, bro, you're a pastor, fam. Bruh. You can't talk like that. And that's what Preston was trying to say. You reckless, bro. You bad for the body.
Nah,
he told him to his face.
I think it's too much put on the homosexual. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
but
you know that.
It's like an extra sin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, because you're a homosexual, you got same-sex attraction. Now you're a Christian. Like, you can't have that same sex attraction no more. Like, bruh, you've been in it for all these. That's what you like. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. If that's what you're attracted to.
Yep.
I mean, it's a battle. Just like it's a battle for a regular man to have, you know what I'm saying?
Be monogamous.
Yeah, it's a battle that he's dealing with.
I was a thief, right? I was a thief in my unsaved days. So sometimes I'll be taking a couple of my credit cards to the store to, like, just to use them. So I don't, if you don't use them, they'll close them out. So I might buy a Gatorade or two. I feel like I'm being watched. Like, I feel like I'm looking over my shoulder, because this is how it was when I was really in my stealing days.
Yeah.
I still have a level of suspicion about me, even though I'm not stealing.
Yeah.
But that's part of my sin nature. So I'm gonna always have, like, thoughts about, man, I could have stole that right there. I have those thoughts sometimes when I see somebody's cell phone hanging out their back pocket. I'm like, I could have bumped her and got that. I mean, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I know, but
do I need to be delivered from the thieving demon now? Because I can't listen to nobody who thinks that.
Man, some of this stuff is just on you, and I think
thieving demon.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Charles.
Yeah. Because all the divas got names.
They got names.
Yeah. I watched Lucifer, the TV series back in the day.
I don't spend no time with people who use words like demonic, If they traveling, if they traffic in the demonic, if they talk like that, I don't spend no time with them.
But
if they traffic in the demonic, or if they spend a lot of time in the prophetic,
Yeah.
I don't spend no time with you, dog. If you call Holy Spirit, if you say Holy Spirit instead of the Holy Spirit, if you just say, yeah, I was listening to Holy Spirit this morning, I'm like, why did you say the, bro? Why did you say the Holy Spirit? You making it sound like Uncle Gerald. Yeah, I was listening to Uncle Gerald this morning. Like, no, say the in front of Holy Spirit, dog. If you don't say the in front of Holy Spirit, I'm watching.
Look, let me tell you something, bro.
Have you heard somebody do that?
Yes.
They say, oh yeah, I know Holy Spirit is watching me. I'm like, why you didn't say the right there, bro?
I don't like to deal with nobody that like to deal in that spiritual world like that, bro.
Nobody.
Straight up. I'm gonna just be 100 with you. Like, there's people that's like,
It's a safe space.
man, they want to see the spiritual world. Like, bro, this is like, I am not trying to go into the spiritual matrix, dog. I don't want to see nothing beyond. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up and, you know what I'm saying, and like a war going around me of 10-foot people with horns and all. Like,
You
no,
are-
I can't even imagine.
That boy say he ain't trying to
no.
see Beetlejuice at
No.
all.
And I'm
Oh,
with you,
bro.
fam. I'm with you.
Like, y'all had that to y'allself.
I don't know nobody that says, "Oh yeah, you know, when I'm in the prophetic, I don't know nobody like no."
That's a red flag.
Shout out to anybody who's into that. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just saying it ain't my circle.
Me neither.
It ain't my circle.
I'm not with it. But another red
We'll laugh
flag.
about this when we get there.
Fighting,
Another
I was
red-
fighting demons. Like, yo, what did you
I'm
mean you was
for real.
fighting?
For real.
Was you awake?
You're not going to win that
Bruh.
battle, bro. Like, honestly.
I was just watching Netflix. like, you fight demons in the evening. I got.
Did you fall asleep watching TV? What happened?
Nah,
you sure
man.
you was awake? You're positive you were awake. I don't know.
No, what I was gonna say is another red flag for me was when Preston asked him about his like accountability. Like, is he accountable to somebody?
Ooh.
And his response was like, "Yeah, I have a pastor," and he was like, "Yeah, he just spoke at my church or whatever, but you know, I'm not gonna really say who he is or what have you because he's an older gentleman and people be you know weird and coming after me, and I don't want to put him in harm's way." And I'm like, put brakes on that, bruh. I'm not falling for that. Grant, you probably don't want to tell us, and this is speculation, but you probably don't want us to tell us because we gonna vet that person. You know, we gonna look that person up and we gonna see what they about.
Everybody points back to their mentor.
Exactly.
I think Eric Mason points back to Tony Evans all the time. If I'm not wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody does that.
So why he got to be a mystery? Because of security issues? Oh, what happened to trusting the Lord? What happened to, you know, walking in the light? So once you start doing that, I'm like, sound good.
Did he feel like he was the top of his food chain? You say you don't know him. Do he seem like he's the top of his food chain?
Absolutely.
And you don't even know him. I would, yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know
would
what I'm
bet
saying?
he's the top of his food chain. Like he might have some accountability partners,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's anybody that can
Nah.
force him to do anything. I pray he does, though. I hope he does, but it doesn't seem like it because he's unhinged all the time on his channel.
Super unhinged.
Unhinged. Like if when Maverick City and and Kirk did that show and they had the red lights with Will Smith. Oh, that was a ritual. That was a demonic ritual. When Meg Thee Stallion put two fingers up and did her song, that was a demonic ritual. Now we know it's sinful. If it's a sinful song, it's a sinful song. That,
Period.
We all get that.
Yeah, but you could just look at the song, read the lyrics, listen to it, you know, pick up your Bible, test the spirit by the spirit, and be like,
Kids, we don't want you to live like this.
that's it.
But no, he's got the video say, "Oh, y'all just participated in a demonic ritual." Like, bro, I was just singing Glorilla. I wasn't in no demonic ritual.
And where you learn all that? Where you learn the rituals?
The coded
how you know?
language.
How you know the colors and all this stuff of the rituals? How you know? Cause the spirit be telling me you freestyling, fam. Now, it'd be different if you pick up the word and the word said, "See, in this passage when this person did this, that, and the third, they were doing this, that, and the third in that video." I got you. But all of this, you know, because of the lights and all this other stuff. Here's what's so crazy: all this lights and smoke and colors and all that stuff. Guess who made all that stuff?
Yeah.
Devil ain't made none of that stuff, bruh.
Yeah.
So this, but it's hype. and it plays on people who don't know their word.
It's almost impossible to have a mature debate too. Like Preston was trying to have a mature debate, and I would say I would consider Preston part of our camp, even
Absolutely.
if he don't know me, but he would be in that same. So we would rub shoulders in the same type of conferences,
Absolutely.
in the same type of spoken word joints. We've been in the room. We've been in rooms together. Put it like that.
Yep.
And we celebrate some of the same mentors. The Eric Masons of the world.
Yep.
Philip Mitchell is popping. He been bubbling lately. I think that's where they go. They go to 2018 in Atlanta. That's the church. So all that to say, like, listen. You trying to really find common ground with the Marcus Rodgers of the world, it's not going to happen, man. We just see the scriptures completely in a different way. And what that man was saying about Jackie Hill Perry needing to be delivered from her demons or whatever is what he really believes. That's why Preston couldn't get through to him.
Yep.
Because Preston is like, you think because she still has a residue of her sinful life that she needs to be delivered from a demon?
Because, brother, that's an abomination. That's not natural.
That's not natural. So you running with that part of the scripture that's not natural.
Yep.
And you done created a whole philosophy behind it.
Yep.
To the point where you telling us, oh no, she need to be delivered, fam. She can't have none of those feelings no more. And then when to say when a man has feelings for a woman, that's natural. That's normal. That's just sin. I'm like, bro, do you hear yourself? And I just think it's cool to have like people where I can laugh about stuff and be like, I don't rock with that side of the body, bro. I still think they get in. I still think plenty of them get in, and that's fine.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell you. I don't know.
Hey, I ain't saying everybody on no side is getting in.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because cat like that gets exposed that, oh, God told me, and God exposes you that you didn't. And everybody we like to be saying, oh, when I get to heaven, it's, or when it comes to judgment day, God gonna say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity. And I'm like, it might be you. Straight up. Because you gonna say, I prophesied in your name. Yeah, we seen them videos and I disqualified you. I never knew you.
I don't want to throw nobody out, but I know what you're saying.
I'm just saying that's a possibility.
It's gonna happen to somebody, Jay.
That's all I'm saying.
Pocket.
That's all I'm saying.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen to somebody.
That's one of the scariest verses in the Bible.
It is, if not the scariest.
Come on, fam. You already know that.
If not the scariest to us as believers, because we know it's gonna happen, and we like looking around in our generation, who gonna be from our generation that's gonna be said. And another thing, God is not the author of confusion. Them cats be confusing a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And I'm peeping that. And I'm just telling you, it's layers to deception, bro.
Is it good intentions, bad understanding?
Nah, I think,
I'm trying to say that.
Yeah,
I want that to be true, but that ain't gonna be true.
We all want it to be true,
right?
We all, because we say, man, that dude ain't dead. There could be a time in his life where he just like, man, I was off,
right.
and then we'd all be cool with that. We'd be like, hey, cool. Somebody got to end up saying, Lord, somebody gonna end up saying that. So,
in the meantime, Preston was like, fam, you bad for the body. Your videos is bad for the body. You slandering people. You got a slandering ministry. He gave him the business.
I agree
Preston
with
gave
that.
him the business, and it was all accurate. It was all verifiable. Like, you are bad for business, fam. You are not doing the ministry that you think you're doing. You're actually hurting the kingdom of God advancing by having all of these superstitious rumors about the latest video that came out. Like, you don't need to do this type stuff. He gave him the business, fam.
Now I will say this. That I remember when people was first saying that stuff about Beyonce, right?
Yeah.
But I will say this. She has gone like too far as like mentioning these like ancient deities. You know what I'm saying? By name. Exactly.
The stuff we would worship if we hadn't learned the gospel in Africa.
Exactly. And I'm like, that is. Now I have to give it up. If she's a sorceress or whatever, she's very entertaining. So we're going to have to just give it up. She's very entertaining. She's good. Yeah. But she been dabbling in some stuff that I'm like, yo, you gotta, come on, girl. You can't ignore that.
You gotta warn the folks.
That's what I was gonna say.
What's that?
Like there are a lot of entertainers that do dabble in sorcery and different witchcraft and all that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That is true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think we take that and then we want to put everybody under the microscope with that same intentions. Like, oh, he held up 3 fingers. What is the 3 fingers? The 3 fingers back in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we start overdoing it.
And then we start, overdoing it. Because like you said, like, yeah, Beyonce, she didn't dove all the way into that stuff.
Absolutely.
And then because I see, this is the way I look at it. See, back in the 80s, early 90s, we were rapping. Hip hop was the thing.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we're from the West Coast. But a lot of stuff we were rapping, we didn't understand.
Yeah.
Because it came from the East Coast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My teacher when I was in high school, when what's her name? I was born underwater with $3. You made me laugh. You did not do your math.
Yeah, that's
when
all
he broke
religious.
that down to me, I was like, yo, this is somebody's scriptures. It ain't the Holy Bible scriptures.
Yeah.
But this is somebody's, and it means something.
Divine mathematics.
I'm like, at this point, nigga, we worship it. You know what I'm saying? This is a worship song.
And look. Love that song. You feel
love
me?
it. Do every word.
Exactly. Like, but that was brought to my attention. Like, she's on something and she's telling you, and she still is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Listen, but again, we got to give it up. She's very entertaining.
Hey.
She's a sorceress, but hey, she's very entertaining.
But when you call somebody, hey, my God, this and that, even East Coast slang,
you're right.
There was something behind it. It was real meaning behind it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I mean,
it's worth a warning. That's what I hear you saying. I hear both y'all saying, like, it's a warning that's needed. Our kids need to know what they listening to, or they need to stop listening to it in a lot of cases.
And the only reason I stand firm on it, because we see in the Bible people being into sorcery, like the witch of Endor, calling up, somebody from the dead, and God allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
Like, so people dabble around that. So when I hear Terrence Howard be like, yeah, man, people, I'm being in the dark, and I just let the thing take over me and wear me like a coat. Like,
oh no, you too popular to be talking about like this.
Like that. Like,
you got too many millions in your bank.
Yeah, you dabbling too. You on something different that made you too smart for your patents, and because some dude was challenging him, and it was good. Man, I wish I had that little bit.
And like, I've watched a lot of documentaries, and I believe in a lot of what people call conspiracies and all that kind of stuff.
I'm with you, boo.
And then they were talking about the underground tunnels in Hollywood and sacrificing people, and I'm like, it's a lot of black people missing in Chicago, bro. Like, where are all these people? Don't nobody know where these people at. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear you. It's a trip. And one thing Preston said was like, you seem like you doing this for clicks. He was like, I don't want to accuse you. I don't know your motives, but it seems like your heresy hunting is a consistent theme of yours, because it gets views and clicks. You know that it's engagement here.
I'm 100%.
He gave it to him, and he didn't. Of course, Marcus Rodgers didn't like that, because Marcus Rodgers was the first Christian influencer online. He is the first one. He's not the first Christian that was online, but he is the first person I saw like 20 years ago on Facebook, when nobody cared about Facebook.
But you know what, James?
Maybe it's 15 years ago. He was the first one preaching, walking through the park, talking about what he thinks about the word. And I was like, okay. He was a soldier back then with his fatigues on.
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago.
But check this out. You could be the first one that was wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You could be like, this dude is like, no, look, this
I wrote him off early. I ain't gonna lie.
Not him, but there's this other dude that's like that's in my groups and counseling groups I'm going through, right?
Yeah.
But he's into Kabbalah, and he wants to bring up every time he leads the group, and so
that's a religion, ain't it?
Exactly. But he want to play like it's not, and he says it all the time. His phrase is, it predates religion. And it's spirituality. It is pretty much saying that it's a religion that predates. And I'll be sitting there thinking like, yeah, you could still be the first one to be wrong.
Right.
When God called Abraham was worshiping the moon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to say his worship to the moon that predates him interacting with God is right because it was first?
It was first.
No, you could be the first one to be wrong. A whole bunch of people just being wrong for a long time until the real God shows up.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's like, come on, man. Stop it with the what C.S. Lewis calls chronological snobbery.
Oh, yeah, that's dope.
Just because you was first don't mean you right.
Yeah.
You just whatever. But that was interesting. And it shook up the internet. A lot of people were talking about it.
Because it's really at least 2 or 3 camps. It really is. Preston was like fighting hard to gain common ground, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any common ground to be had. Because we genuinely are thinking about 2 different interpretations of the faith. It's a totally different experience when you think the demons are around every corner. It's a totally different Christianity to me.
Yeah.
I don't operate thinking that the demonic activity is causing all of this. I'm like, you greedy. I'm selfish. You're
Thank
angry.
you.
I'm lazy.
I'm usually pointing at the sin of man, just like even when you were saying earlier, working in like public service or what have you, and seeing all the destruction. That you could say there is some, of course, to everything here, there's a spiritual component.
Of course.
But what I'm looking at is the results of the sin of men.
When I get my hands on it.
Exactly.
Right?
This is what we did to our city. This is what we did to the country.
Through demonic influence, and through the devils, all of that. Yeah, but I don't think demon is holding my hand, though.
But okay, I'm gonna open up my word, and I want to see demonic activity, and I think the story of Job shows it the clearest.
Okay,
and the thing that I walk away from the story of Job is the person that I'm fearful and really scared of is God himself, because the devil got to come to him and say, can I?
Yeah.
Because without that, that hedge is on you and it ain't nothing he can do.
Yeah.
So who am I more concerned about in this scenario? That Lord protect me. Lord keep me away, keep them things away, because he can. So I'm not thinking about a demon around the corner. I'm thinking about Lord protect me, keep me from whatever. I know there's a bunch of stuff I can't see, but I'm going to the source that could actually do something about it and not worried about every shadow I see.
Every shadow. That's not healthy.
That's not healthy.
That's not healthy, and I don't see that in the scriptures. Nope. I don't see that being the pattern. Yeah, there's demonic activity all over. We know that the devil's real, but I can't run with a camp that sees a demon at every doorstep. I can't do it. And it will I think they get into heaven. We'll talk about it later. I'm just never going to run with that camp.
Nah.
And we saw it on full display. It really is 2 different camps.
All I say is that the thing that makes it hard for me to run with them is they put their Bible down quick. They talk a lot of Bible, but they seem to put it down a lot and talk about their feelings and what the Spirit told them last night. And I'm like, are you checking any of this stuff through scripture? Or are you just sitting there waiting for a vision? Because if you don't think that you could be manipulated by some other spirit that's posing as an angel of light, then you crazy.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith said he seen angels too.
Yeah.
That talked to him. Do we think he really seen an angel? No, I think he's seen something else. If he really saw something,
right?
It's like
started a whole new cult with
most cults start like that.
Thank you.
Some kind of shining rock in the corner.
Yeah. And it's like, and if you go after all that stuff, bro, that is not how we supposed to be led. And to be led by the Spirit is to be led by the Word, bro. And we got enough Word to know how to maneuver through life.
So can I tell it how we get down? It's like, remember we was talking about how I'm not a big fan of that, the Lord block, that Buki block. I call it the Buki block now. The Buki block prayers, where it's like, if I want something to happen, then God block it if it's not right. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest fan of that, because I want to be making the decision.
Yeah.
I don't want to just be bouncing off of circumstances back and forth. But I know what you mean when you say it. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing that, like, so I was looking for a car. I told y'all I was looking for a car, and still praying, still doing my part, but still asking God to do His thing too, including do the Buki block if that's what you got to do. So go to this lot, car's gone. Go to that lot, they won't give me the right price. Go to this lot, it's not the right mileage, it's not the right color, it's not the right interiors. You're just noticing, like, that's a deal breaker, that's a deal breaker, that's not it, that's not it, that's not it.
Yeah.
I don't need God to send me some kind of tornado or anything. I just need to find a lot with the right thing that I'm looking for. And I found it. It took a minute, but there were certain things that they were doing that all the other dealers weren't doing. I think that's the spiritual, if you want to get spooky. To me, that's the spookiest thing I'm expecting. Is like, okay, I do my part. I eventually find the job I want. I eventually find the house I'm looking for. You searching for an Airbnb spot, a new one. Do you need something spooky to happen? No, you need the things to line up in the budget, in the zip code, with the type of landlord you want, with the type of contract you want. To me, that's God active.
Yeah.
But somebody else would say, "Oh, that's just you just leaning on the natural. You just leaning on man. You leaning into your own understanding." No, I'm paying attention to what I'm asking for.
Yeah, exactly.
You feel me? So I found the car I wanted, and I bought it for the price I wanted.
It's the same thing. Like I said, like if this job ain't for me, Lord, don't let me have it.
It is.
If the next one is for me, let me have it. So if I don't get job A, but then job B calls me and say, yeah, okay, we want you. Well, obviously, the Lord want job B for me. Right. That's how I look at it.
And it's that simple.
It's not like I stopped looking for a job and be like, well, I would just say, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. You keep working until, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that's our job. You know what I'm saying?
And my thing is, how do I know God opened the door? Well, if he's sovereign and the door is open, and now I see it's open, he opened it. If it didn't happen at this time, then I can safely say at that moment, God is not opening it and be all right.
You could add a layer to it too. Like you said earlier, if I see the word of God lining up, there's scriptures like the blessings of the Lord prosper you, but they don't add sorrow. They not burdensome.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for, I'm not looking for a Lamborghini truck. I'm looking for something in my budget.
Yeah.
This joint fell right into my budget. I'm like, all right, this won't add no sorrow. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to add. Okay, it feels right. It looks right. It sounds right. It lines up. And I pulled the trigger. Now, I don't know if I'm right. I could be dead wrong. I could find out 2 years from now, I just should not have done that. But I don't have anything that tells me that right now. I'm not expecting some door to open up and buy the car. And then, you know, I don't need that kind of stuff to happen. And I don't look for that kind of stuff to happen. And I don't expect that. I don't see that in scripture. I see people going after whatever they're praying about. And God says, no, not that one. No, not that one. Make this left right here. Nope. I'm going to make sure they don't let you in that door. And then you end up in the right door, like you're saying. And then once you get to the door, you still got to turn the knob or knock or whatever. You still got to do your part. All that to say, like, there's a camp who wants the pastor to come say, it's going to be a green door on the left side of the street. And you're going to see that. And that's the house for you. I don't want that person to be able to manipulate me like that.
Nah.
I don't want that. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but I know for a fact that ain't how God talked to me. And maybe I'm missing out, but it don't seem like it. It don't seem like it. I don't know if y'all feel like are we cutting ourselves short? You think?
I think usually everything lines up.
That's
you know
what I'm saying.
Everything usually lines up.
It lines up.
Do you have to hear an audible voice from?
Bruh, go get checked out if you're hearing audible voices. I'm just telling you. I don't even know. I don't even think I don't even think I desire.
Bookie, get up. Like, yo.
I am not looking for nothing
Here
like
am
that.
I. You know what I'm saying? Like,
man.
I know that happened in the scriptures, but
Yeah,
I think we think the scripture was everything that happened. That was rare, dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was very rare.
I think it was common practice. Like,
And then dreams, too. You know, God used dreams and sent dreams to people, whatever. So am I supposed to go to bed every night and think every dream I'm having is something God trying to talk to me?
No.
I wouldn't practice that.
And not if you watch Black Mirror that night. If you're watching Black Mirror, none of your dreams are from God. Don't take none of them dreams seriously.
For real.
No.
Like,
if you've been watching something wild.
Exactly. We see how that hit. Now you're making a joke, but that's a reality,
Bro,
right?
My imagination run wild depending on
We'll
what I
watch
go to sleep
something,
to.
or you'll have a conversation with someone, and a piece of that stuff will show up in your dream, right?
Right.
So am I gonna say that was God speaking to me?
God
was
told me to get that new iPhone.
Yeah.
No, fool, you went to sleep with the iPhone on
Commercial.
on your commercial.
And it crept in. So it's kind of like, and then think about like the unbeliever that's sitting by listening to all of that too. And I'm like, that's not helpful. You could have been giving them some word that's helpful, but you talking about your dreams and visions and stuff and the dude sitting around like, I don't know. It's not as helpful, I think, as some people believe it to be. And you just gotta, man, some of that stuff you gotta take with a grain of salt. And I think the more that you get into God's word, the more that you know it, it kind of helps you be like foolproof if you really get into it. So when a fool pops up and on some spiritual wackiness, you're like, Bible don't say that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where you got that from, but okay, you know, bless your heart. Hit him with the grandma.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. And keep on pushing.
What do we do to bridge that gap? Because it seemed like they were trying to connect on a level that was cordial. I think talking about Preston and Marcus, seemed like they was trying to connect on the way like let's hash this out.
You know what?
But what do you do?
You know what? When I was listening to it, I kind of felt differently. I felt that Preston was trying to be like the man for his wife.
Of
you
course,
know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Can we understand?
Of
that?
course.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, we're like, yeah, I'm gonna stick up for my wife. But
That's right.
But this is my question, though. This is my question.
Yeah.
If your wife is an influencer, always on social media, at what point do you not expect people to attack her?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then at what point do you say, okay, enough is enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, because nobody's going to agree with you 100% of anything.
My thing is this.
Yeah.
After his little false prophecy, we not on live. I'm not wasting my time with no cat like that. And I understand.
Okay.
And I understand why. I think it's because you think, oh, this man got a lot of influence and he got a lot of, and like a lot of his followers are showing up on in your comments and all that for a while. But all that could have been happening to me. And I'd be like, that is a false prophet. I'm not wasting no time with that. Whatever. And back my hand to the plow. Keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not finna waste no time.
Because that's a whole camp. Now, we might start talking about, oh, yeah, Eric Mason, Philip Mitchell, Tony Evans. And you've done this. You'll go into a room, ain't nobody heard of them people.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
exactly.
oh, yeah, I'm reading this Piper book. And I mean, man,
and they ain't never heard of them.
Sproul just passed away. And whoever else you want to name, C.S. Lewis. And they'd be like, who are those people?
Exactly.
So there's a whole different camp, man. And they not disqualified or anything.
Nope,
It's
I
just
know what you mean.
different.
Yep.
It's different. Like if I go into a room full of NASCAR fans, I'm lost. I know nothing about it. You feel me?
Yep.
Because we live in two different worlds.
But this is what I'm asking though. Like, so if I'm in a situation, just me being Buki and Buki personality and who Buki is.
Yeah.
I'm just going social media. We said we all got the same amount of followers. I'm like, look, what dude said is faulty. What my wife was saying was a joke at the time. And this is this and this is that. Because guess what? If we go live and then you get out of hand, out of pocket, then I don't know.
Yeah.
Christianity might not show like it's supposed to show to the world. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, and that
So
was a lot.
And that's what happened.
Because I mean, yeah, because
They
like,
both end up apologizing.
yeah, because
that's what happened.
Like when confrontation is confrontation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to avoid not showing my Christianity at all times on social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? So even for me in real life, right? I try not to put myself in situations. I always tell myself, just Bookie, just take the L and just walk away.
Yeah.
Because I know my pride, I know my ego. Then, you know what I'm saying, push come to shove, then I'm pushing back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Now this situation that escalated to something, now I got to go get me a lawyer or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try, it's same thing at that point in like social media. You know, you want to defend your wife, but you got to expect people gonna come after her.
And that, you know, that, and I'm pretty sure that wasn't the first time.
Yeah.
I think he just felt like it was time to expose this dude for who he is. I think he felt like you could kind of tell like it's time. Like the Bible said, don't answer a fool, and the very next scripture says answer him before he think he know what he's talking about. So it's like there's a time to do it.
Yeah, that's
and there's
you
a time
can put
to
out
not
a
do
video
it.
without going on this live conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking forward to the Umar DL Hughley. You know what I'm saying?
But I knew DL was clowning.
Back up. But
DL was like, we'll do it at your school. That's when I that's what I knew. I was like, oh, DL got jokes.
That's a dig. That's such a dig.
Like you get
he didn't want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? But those are the kind of lives that I want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Now, here was the other thing that tore up the internet for a few days. That was heavy across the internet, and that was Kendrick being the performer at the Super Bowl and how everybody
in New Orleans,
everybody was upset. And wow. But before that, what did y'all think about that song that he put out right after that? Oh, y'all got quiet.
Well, we not really like hip hop fans like that at this point. So I'm just gonna say I ain't heard the song.
Like I listened to it a couple times.
Yeah.
But a lot of I'm an R&B guy.
Yeah.
90s R&B. And I'm a country music fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whenever Kendrick puts something out, I got to go to Rap Genius because I don't know half the stuff what he's talking about. I don't even, like all these people James be naming.
Yeah.
Like these, I'm like, I don't know who he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, if it ain't Boys to Men or you know what I'm saying, Jodeci, somebody like that, I don't know who you talking about. And so like I don't know the beefs between. You know, I followed the kind of like beef with Kendrick and Drake and all that because it was so popular. But like, I don't even know the foundation of the beef. You know what I'm saying? Right. So like for that song, I thought it was, you know, just off listening without going deep into it. Mm-hmm. I was, it just feels like a Kendrick song. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I know that there's some kind of deep meaning to it behind it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I got to wait for the breakdown.
Well.
After that onslaught of all them songs, they went back to back. I needed a break.
But I like he shouted out Cray and D1 though.
That's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah.
He shouted out Lecrae and D1. But before that, I think the actual song, the message is understandable but very controversial. What he simply said in the song is, we as the Black hip hop culture or culture, it has now it's gone too far. It's too wicked. So this is what I want us to do. Get rid of all these people that don't want a change.
Ooh.
And he's saying very clearly in the song, we need to take their life. That's just where it is. Because it's not gonna fix itself. So everybody who don't want to see different, we need to get rid of them. From the streets to the corporate cats to these people that's in the media, that like the academics of the world who seem to have a career off of all the hip hop drama, the TMZs, the Shade Rooms, all of them gotta go. That's what he's saying in this song.
How you feel about it, Jay? You think it's he's very poetic, shock jock type stuff, but do you think it's some truth, it's some shock value, but it's some truth behind it? What you think?
I listened to the song.
Right.
He was very clear. It's you don't misinterpret what he's saying. It's very clear. Now, what I said is, it's understandable.
Okay.
But you're not supposed to do it.
Right.
You're not supposed to do it. And what's happening right now, like in LA, it's like the gangs is trying to have a truce, right? What he's saying is, for the people who that's in that circle who don't want to see the truth, do us all a solid and walk that man out. And I'm like, do we really want to like push this? But I understand. So in that, he's like, I wonder what Lecrae would do, you know. And then he mentioned D1 as people that's like on the right path. And like we need to be on that, but it seems like it's gotten so bad we got to burn the village down.
That's true.
And rebuild it. And I'm like, whoo,
man, that song sounds dope.
So go back to.
I might put that in my playlist.
Exactly. Go to Rap Genius and read the lyrics. Yeah. And I said, whoa. And the whole Super Bowl thing is kind of like what the contrast I'm seeing between him and Wayne, who's from New Orleans, and people thought, he should have got the spot, is what does Wayne represent? And what is Kendrick representing? What's more healthier for the culture? Because this is going to be Black History Month when this when this pops off. Just
That's
like
true.
he dropped the song on 9/11, which was interesting. But so at that moment, who do you think the world want to see? Or the culture should see? What's more healthier for the culture? Lil Wayne and his double cups, or Kendrick trying to talk sense into
this
people?
is such a wild time in our culture, man, because you got people like the D1s talking about, hey, do y'all think this is sustainable to celebrate these things at this level? Even Umar, we don't agree with Umar when he talked church, but when Umar talked black excellence, a lot of times he's like, listen, we are killing ourselves with the way that we talk, with the way that we sing, with the way that we rap, and we're no different than anybody else. We can thrive, but can you thrive as a people when you celebrate the worst of your cultures? I think that's a healthy thing to discuss. I don't want to point any fingers at anybody because I don't have no answers, but I do like that it's like, okay, February, Black History Month, 2025, we have the world stage. Nobody will watch a concert like they'll watch this one. And we gonna put double cups and baby mamas and
lick like a lollipop. That's what we want.
But that has always been my argument, though.
I know. Talk about
that.
it.
Like, I think the world has a reason to look at us the way that they do, because we put this stuff out here.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to blame the white man and the Jew to run the industry, but who's writing this? Who's writing the song?
Thank you.
Who's
Sexy
saying
Red
is
okay,
Sexy
I'll do
Red?
it.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to.
You saying on purpose?
Yeah.
You saying she's done the math, like,
and we push her just like we go. The Shade Room pushes her. Hip hop, DX hip hop, whatever it's called, pushes her. All these hip hop outlets push this kind of propaganda and this agenda, and so the people are looking at us and thinking we're all the same. That this is what we do,
and we like that.
Yeah.
Who is we? What you mean? Because there's a we. It's definitely
the world looks and they look at the numbers, right? So they look, oh man, this person is going platinum. This person going gold.
Yeah.
And they all have this destructive message. And then they looking like, well, I didn't buy it. Yeah, I'm over here bumping Taylor Swift. I didn't buy none of that. That's what y'all buying. That must be what y'all like. So y'all are just crazy. And if I don't live in the community with you and all I'm left to do is to view your art and your music from a distance and see how like whack that is, and y'all consume that, y'all must be.
And we praise it.
Yep.
We praise it. Because we're constantly putting out, we sharing these videos and all that.
Yep.
And I'm a guy, when I see this kind of stuff on Instagram, I always look at the comments. I like to read the comments to see what people saying.
Yep.
And the first thing they say is, "Oh, guess what people it is." You know, I mean, there's racists on
it's
there.
trolls,
You know
of course. Still.
It's trolls, racists, but at the end of the day, what makes a joke funny? It's a little truth added to it, right?
Yep.
What they say, oh, that's 400 credit score activity over there. You know what I'm saying? This is the this is the comments that goes in, and you know what I'm saying, on these posts.
Yep.
And we look at it. Who are the people?
Yeah.
Who street politics and all these other outlets. You go in there. Who is it? Black kids running there, busting glass, running out the Gucci stores,
Smashing
Louis
grabs,
store, all that, and everybody, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then so if you're another culture, you're looking at like, there they go again.
There they
Wild
go.
animals. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And we're reposting, we're sharing. And you don't see no well, I don't, as much as I be on social media, I never see like the Asian community posting this kind of stuff.
Nope.
No other communities posting the worst of their community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're celebrating.
Because that's what we'll say, Buki. This don't represent all of us, and it doesn't. This is the worst of our community. Yeah, but y'all talking about them, and you giving them a pass. You
how is it making it to the mainstream? Because every community got that.
It can't make it to It can't make it to the mainstream without us.
Yeah,
we have to be behind it, just in sheer numbers. We got to be behind it for them to to float up there. And so it's kind of like, I kind of feel, like I said, I understand the sentiment from Kendrick's song. I wouldn't say we supposed to do it. Just like Chris Rock said, there's a reason to kick an old man down the stairs. But you ain't supposed to do it.
Yeah.
You know
what do you
I mean?
think the connection with 9/11 is? You think he's trying to say this is our real threat?
He said it's time to watch the party die. That's the name. That's kind of the hook.
Yeah.
It's time to watch. Like he talking about these dudes. He's like, y'all party more than women. He talking about these dudes that's like in the industry. Like, y'all, what are you working for? If all you doing like if you a glutton, like he uses the term. If you a glutton, but you're not teaching the youth balance, man, you need to get up out of here, because all you doing is, and that's what you see, people overdoing it. Don't, the money phones and we just have normalized that.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, you know what, that's imbalance or whatever, and it's not enough. That's what D1 was talking about. It's not enough of the older dudes saying that stuff is wild.
Because they're not, these younger generations, they're not listening to nobody.
Well, I wasn't when I was young.
But
right?
but you always had, even in the gang culture in LA, you always had the OGs there to say, look, hey, we're not doing that right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now you don't have that in any aspect of our community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't have it at all. And one person that I watch all his videos when he come up, I think he's funny, and I think he's be out of pocket a lot of times, but I think he's funny. It's Charleston White. And he says a lot of truth. You know what I'm saying? And you got these kids on there that's like, not kids, but these new rappers. They're rapping, especially these kids out of Chicago, Detroit, all that. They're rapping about killing all these people, and this is a real story that they're telling. The truth. This is not something they done made up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is not like no Bad Boy stuff where they done made up with a song just to sell. No, this dude really, he was like, man, this dude really shot this dude mama. You know what I'm saying? Shot at his mama. You know what I'm saying? And he's rapping about it on the song. And we know for it to be true, because when they go to trial, they're playing the rap songs.
Yeah, and using that as
evidence.
Evidence to lock them up.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
And so we're celebrating this behavior, bro. Like, I got what they call it? I got my Draco, and I shot up his mama house, and then went to his granny funeral, shot up the granny funeral. Then you go look at the news, and that I'm smoking on Tuka, whatever it is. Like, that's a real person.
It's a real person.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't win killed. Like, what?
I like the way they challenged Cam and Nick Cannon too. Did y'all pick up on that?
Yeah, I saw
like that one. I think she was a family behavior psychologist. She was going through her press run and just telling all these dudes, like, you creating a bunch of broken homes, fam. I know you can send them money. Cam Newton, Nick Cannon, they got millions, but she was saying, like, these millions are going to take care of a certain aspect of this person, but no child wanted to come up in a broken home.
Nope.
No child wanted to be 100,000 miles, 1,000 miles away from their dad. Like,
nope.
So you can give them trust funds and college funds and cars, and you can do all of that. But
that ain't everything. That's not everything.
You create a dysfunctional human being.
That's all. That's the truth. And before you start, before people can be like, oh, that's your religious view. Nah, that is not a religious view. That is a scientific view. You can do the numbers, and you can see people coming from broken homes, what they are, susceptible to,
right,
versus someone who has a mother and father in the home. It's just a healthier condition, period.
It don't even have to be religious or science. Common sense tell you, if you had a child, why you just gonna leave? You don't want to be that person. Like, you should know how I feel.
You should want to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, some stuff is just common sense.
Nah,
let me go plant my seed around this earth, 20 people,
as often as possible,
and then
wherever.
But when 20 kids ain't got no daddy.
But when you think, financially, if I can support them, that's all they need. That's why they do it.
Something's wrong with you as the individual to think like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because they'll commend him, like, okay, Nick Cannon will, he like Santa Claus trying to get to all his kids to make sure they all have a decent Christmas. Like, that's commendable. Okay, you trying, you working on it, you trying to get it done. But you also saying you're not through. Like, I might go do a few. I might go get a few more. I'm gonna go. I'm like,
and at night, you can't be in all them homes at night.
Come on, Jay. That's
so different. It's a whole bunch of people that's missing out on their dad every night because you just can't be in 30 places at once. So I don't know. It's weird. It's weird behavior, but it was dope that that lady checked him, and that kind of went out there to kind of bring that to light, because that was running around. That was running rampant for a minute, and everybody was just laughing at it. And Nick Cannon, and the doctor showed up and was like, "Man, it ain't really a laughing matter."
What y'all think what my man Cam Newton said? Like, even if you look at the Bible, Solomon had a gang of wives. Why y'all on my head? Solomon was a great man, and he had a bunch of different wives. He had a bunch of different kids with a bunch of different women. So even in the Bible. What do you say? What would you say to that?
You ain't reading it in context, and if you read it in context, and you would understand that though he did that, God was not pleased with that. And what you'll learn is there's a lot of things that men of God who was following. I mean, there's believers who killed other people that God was not pleased with that, and had children with somebody else's wife,
right?
And he still was a man after God's own heart, but he did something that God was not pleased with. And so, yeah, he did that, but God wasn't pleased with it.
It's not working out.
It's like it's not working out.
These polygamy, it ain't working out.
It was also a part of his downfall.
Exactly.
Yes, I said it was also a part of his downfall.
Absolutely.
The polygamy, yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
That's not a good example, bro. He ran off into idolatry from some of them women.
Exactly.
Like them multiple women he did not end well. They split the kingdom and ain't nothing been the same since.
That's if you read the whole story though. You read
the story,
exactly. Not the moment of, it just happened. But I don't expect unbelievers to accurately present the word of God.
It's a trip because Cam dad is a pastor, man. Like Cam has been around all of this stuff, so it's a trip that I heard somebody say anybody that thinks that polygamy, anybody that reads the original stories in the Bible and thinks that multiple marriages is a good thing, don't know how to read. This is not working out for anybody. It's not because it's multiple women. It's because it's dysfunction.
Yep.
It's dysfunction everywhere. With all of these multiple mamas, multiple baby mamas, it don't work for Abraham. It don't work for David. It don't work for Solomon. It's not working for anybody.
It doesn't seem to. And so why would I think, okay, I'm going to try it and see if it works for me in 2024.
I'm going to get it right.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right. Yeah, okay. Man. Anyway, how about this other issue that happened on the internet? It was a lot happened recently.
Yes.
How y'all feel about the Shannon Sharpe little incident?
Oh my gosh, man.
How y'all feel about this? I'll just say my piece quickly. I believe wholeheartedly, and I could be wrong, but I do believe wholeheartedly that was just to help his image.
Oh man, I knew you was gonna say that, and I totally agree. Like that's just the perfect move. That's the perfect move
because they was on him
after the type of year he's having. If you want to go to the next level after the Cat Williams, because he switched. He was interviewing, Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, and then all of a sudden he was Steve Harvey and then this whole other crew, which is dope. But once that Cat Williams popped, you in a different stratosphere now. And how do I get even higher? I know one way.
But they were trying to. I think it was more of like image shaping too, because they was on your boy for being maybe low key, a little too sassy with it, right? And that was and they on him, and that was the vibe for a minute. And I 50 laughing at him a little bit about that, and it was just like, oh, so you just gonna accidentally go live?
No, bro. Every night I come home, I throw my phone on the bed.
Okay.
I never went live. I never went live. I throw my phone on the bed every night. I never go live.
It's too many steps, bruh.
It's too many steps to go live.
Is the record button down there at the same place as your iPhone button?
You got to do a few steps, bruh, to go live. You gotta do some okays for your camera and your audio. So miss me with the I just hit one button and it went live. That's not how it goes. That's not how it works.
That man said he took his phone. I just threw it on the bed and I started doing every man activities and on there. Bruh, and
I guess I'm just that. I guess we're just that dumb.
You think it's gonna work, Jay? Is it gonna work?
Oh, it's gonna work. It's already worked.
I thought he was going like towards Strahan, Steve Harvey. I thought that was the path.
Nah,
I think he's
You know what I mean? Like
he wanted to curve, and this is just 100% opinion. I feel like he just wanted to curve that you might be gay, or at least bi image. That's the thing. That was heavy floating, and so now if I do something like that, and then that's gonna make women get online and be like, all right, okay, all right, and now I'm doing man activity.
Though. Oh my God, they had jokes. They had big jokes for him in the comments, bro. I was like, I was here. Me and my wife we was laying in the bed reading the comments, dying. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, your boy was growling and doing all kind of. I haven't heard the full audio, and I can't front. I went looking for it, but it was too late. It had already happened, and so people had parodies floating around by the time I was looking for it. But I was like, "What are they talking about? Like, what it is?" But the only thing I heard was a little growling, and I was like, "Wow."
We've all watched those XX videos growing up. We've all watched them, and it just sounded like a skit.
Oh my gosh.
That boy said it sounded like a skit.
I was talking to one of my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? He was like, bro, nobody had relations like that. Oh, Poppy, yeah, Poppy. Like, what is going on, bro? Like, yeah, it just sounded like somebody just wrote a skit. Like, okay, we gonna say this. And I'm gonna say this.
And I'm gonna come out looking like the man, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
They playing at a high level now.
Yeah.
Nah,
he had the Diddy. Take that. Like, what is going on, man? Oh my God.
Dudes be trying to save their image, bruh. And I think like when that is like really attached to how you make money, you got to repair it if you think it's damaged. And it's like, how am I going to repair it? You know what I'm saying? It's being damaged online.
Yeah.
So I must repair it. Online.
Hey, did you see the Lavelle Crawford video?
Nah.
Mm-mm. So previously, Lavelle Crawford told him, hey, now you need to go make a sex tape. He told him that.
He told him to do it.
He said, I told him to go do it. He did it. He was on the on Nightcap with
Ocho.
And Lavelle Crawford was cracking up and Shannon sitting there laughing. He's like, yeah, I told him to go do one.
Lavelle Crawford is a fool.
Oh my God.
Is a fool. So no, that really burnt up the internet, and I was like, man. Oh, what else?
So does he still get to go to Steve Harvey, Michael Strahan way now? This is like the third different thing that went kind of left, ain't he?
Nah, he gonna be all right, bro.
Yeah. But he's different though.
You don't think that's not the play?
Like Strahan wants to be Good Morning America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought that's where Shannon Sharpe was going. That's not the path.
I think Shannon found his lane. He wants to be the king of podcasts.
All right.
Yep.
And he has, even his latest podcast episode with Marlon Wayans was good.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
So I think he's there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no like actually interviewing type podcast out of the celebrities that's better than his.
That's
right
it?
Yeah, he got a hot he got a hot spot. So people go on there and they get millions and millions of hits.
After that Cat Williams?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cat Williams hit. I don't know, man. This is a thing. It's a couple of things that's been getting on my nerves within the kingdom.
Okay.
And one of them, and it's just, I got to get over this part because it's just a political season. And it's, it's one thing for us normal, I think, laymen to just be talking about whatever online. We just do what we do. But it's just like, I feel crunchy about pastors who pick these political characters and like seem to run hard for them. And I don't know, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. And I know this is America, you have a freedom to do this, but just as pastors, when they start leaning tough on any kind of political leader, I just start being like, man, you must be corrupt. And
you talking about by name.
Yeah.
I'm saying we need to go with this the right direction.
And it's just when they go hard on that, and I don't know, some people might say, Drew, that's not fair, man. They could be able to do that. And technically you can.
Right.
But I just think just for, I don't know, kingdom purposes, just stand down on that.
So let me ask, is this my Sunday morning experience with this dude, or does he have a separate private podcast where he kind of talks his talk?
Either or. So say he doesn't do it on Sunday mornings, right? But he online doing it in his social media. I get the same vibe. I'm gonna put it to you like that. When they go that hard like that with their political views, it gets to the point where it's like, I don't want to hear you on Sunday. And you might not even never bring that stuff up while you in the pulpit.
Yeah.
But I didn't see you in the streets talking about that stuff too hard, and just be like, why? What do you get from that? And it's just, and like I said, it's technically you can do that. I'm just saying personally, that is one of the things that I've just lately, you losing me on. And if I hear from you, James, it's cool. Buki talk about whatever, because we're not shepherds of souls.
We're not.
And so
it's different.
And I expect to hear it down here. But it's just something about hearing it up there, and it don't be going right.
So you kind of want your pastor to have like a awareness of his influence and be like, hey, do that with your fellow pastor somewhere behind closed doors somewhere. Get that off your chest somewhere.
Fine.
But not where you can make it a real thing for the people you lead. That's what you want them to do?
Yeah.
I hear that.
Because why would I want my flock to lean towards the same way I am politically and come off like that? Like, this is the right way. And you've heard a lot of religious folks be, this is the right way to go. I don't see how you could vote the other way. Now, that's fine. Again, like I said, for laymen down here, we could do that all day. But what happens is you may have some people at your church that think differently, and they're members of your church, and you're putting a weight on them that's unnecessary.
Especially on Sunday.
Yeah,
like that's a real thing.
Yeah, it is. And cats, and I know people be having political people come speak at their churches and sometimes come up on Sunday. And I'm not with none of that either.
Nah.
I know, before y'all hit me with the historically how black people, that was a gathering place for us, and we did hash out some political things in the church house because we didn't have no other place to talk about it. But that's not the situation I grew up in, and that's not now. No. And I just think you muddy up the waters in doing that. And that's just my perspective. That's not, like I'm saying, I'm not saying somebody is sinning for doing that. I'm not going that far. I'm just saying it makes it like,
this is what I need to hear from somebody that's going to be my spiritual leader. You shouldn't trust nobody outside.
That's what I was saying.
Why would you trust that person on the left just because she was the attorney general, whatever? Mm-hmm. I might vote for Kamala. I don't trust her.
I don't trust none of them.
Not like that. I'm hiring somebody for a job. I don't know her. She might be full of integrity, but I'm not assuming that. I'm assuming that, okay, they play a high stakes $1 trillion on the line. It's trillions with a T. Trillions of dollars on the line. So when they come in making these moves, making these plays, I'm assuming they playing at levels I ain't thought about. It's lobbyists I ain't thought about. It's brown bags I can't imagine. I'm thinking it's $1 million in a brown bag somewhere for people on every side. Yeah. And then when you come to the right and you hear the right talking about, oh, pro-life this and pro-religion that and 2A and all of that, I'm like, okay, it sound good, but I don't trust y'all either. And when I hear somebody that's supposed to be my spiritual leader trusting one side, I'm like, come on, man. Like when I talk to my cats that lean right, I'm like, I'm listening to them. They not like delusional about who they talking about. They know, like, okay, I like this about somebody, but I don't trust that. We know that ain't right. And then I like this about them, but I don't know. That ain't gonna work. And Buki, you talk like that, but I mean, I don't hear this blind faith. I don't hear this. oh yeah, of course this is the right choice type person. I don't hear that. I hear you saying, think about this policy, James. How could you be okay with that policy? Think about this other track record. How could you be okay with that track record? I hear the mature conversations that I'm expecting somebody to be, what do you call that? Just somewhat balanced. I don't know if I want my spiritual leader to be that impressed with somebody on the outside. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
How you feel about that?
Fair?
Yeah, I've been in. I've seen them both done. Like I said, I've been to churches. I've visited churches, especially in the wealthier communities, where, like I said last in one of the podcasts, they had the American flag and all that going on.
Yeah.
So, but the pastor there, he was a politician.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He was like, I think running for mayor or some city council member, something. But he was a politician. So I kind of understood that. And, but I understand what you're saying too, Jay. Like, I don't think that's a place in the pulpit for like you said, it's unneeded pressure coming from up top. Now, if you're having a private conversation with your pastor, it's like, what pastor?
Exactly.
If you want to, what you think about politics? Well, I lean this way because of this and this and that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like the way we handle it at AG is like John would get up there and he'll say a prayer and then he'd be like, Lord, the country, I'm praying for Joe Biden to make the proper decisions. I'm praying for
As we should.
Bass. I'm praying for,
That's Bible.
Yeah. Whoever our leaders are.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh nah, y'all get out there and y'all go vote for Trump. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. Go vote for Harris because we all black in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah.
That's not it. You know what I'm saying? He just prayed for the leaders of the country. And I think that's where we should leave it at.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So if your leadership went a little hard on a social, so we'll take Sunday out of it because that might be super extreme. But if let's say your leader is back on social and they going hard for one side, how you feel on Sunday? You good? You feel away?
Well, me, I wouldn't feel away because
Yeah.
I like to argue politics anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't feel away, and I like to debate. So, but now I wouldn't feel a certain type of way where it really wouldn't matter to me unless you're condemning me for leaning one way. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, then it's an issue.
It's weird though. It's weird for sure, Jay.
Can I tell you what I don't like though? On for like religious leaders and people of influence within the body.
Yeah.
That says they make this profession on social media. God picks, our leaders, and I'm not into politics. But then you turn around and you make posts about, oh yeah, she is that, oh yeah, And you're like, bro, you just said you're not into politics.
Yeah,
you've been saying this the whole time, but now you
seem
making
to really
posts
be in it
about, proactive posts about one side, and it's always one side.
Yes,
you're not making a post about the other side too. No. It's one side, so you can clearly see where you're leaning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got on. I had hit propaganda up about it too.
Yeah.
One day, on his post, I was like, you can tell when somebody leaning to a certain way without how can you without actually saying it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I a couple of people had chimed in, which was actually on my side.
Yeah.
But I just did it for conversation, debate. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. And again, you are a layman. You're not saying that you're a shepherd of souls. So have at it. Do whatever. It's just like I said, specifically just the pastors. Now, the other thing that, and I think this may be unique, maybe to the circle that we're in, James, is I can't stand Christians who are too concerned about their self-image.
What? You? What?
It is most definitely probably a preference thing. But once I sense that you as a Christian are very concerned about your self-image and how you come off to people, it's kind of like, because I know at some point as a believer, like you're going to have to say some things that are very contrary to what the world is used to. And if you get comfortable or lean too much into looking right, then how can you fully be an effective witness? Because you're going to have to say some things at certain times. You're not going to look right.
Right.
So if I'm practicing always looking right, and I don't mean right and I'm right, I'm talking about looking like not too controversial, or not looking like I can do wrong. Like I can be wrong. And I think it's very unique. And I say it's unique to our circle.
You join the wrong group, fam. If you try to hold on to them two, not being able to do wrong is how you got into faith. I mean, not like needing help to stop doing wrong is how you got into the faith. Like, hey, I need help.
And it's like, oh, you know, that'll make me look wrong, or that'll make me look like, you know, we making a bad decision, you know, or are we? And I'm like, that's gonna happen.
That's the group you joined. You joined the group that's gonna be like, what y'all talking about? That's crazy.
And so you should kind of like get comfortable. I feel, you know, and it's easier said than done. I get that, but it just did. And one of the things that brought it out, you know, in the last pod I was talking about, you know, not smoking weed anymore. And you know what was very interesting that happened is, I've been on Facebook for more than a decade.
Okay.
Right. And so just like y'all who are on any social media for that long, when you post, you have your regulars. Mm-hmm. You know, you have the people that show up, whatever, because some of that's just the algorithm. They throwing it to those people because those people will respond and interact to it,
right,
or what have you. And so you always have people responding and saying stuff. Mm-hmm. And all I noticed was a lot of my regulars just didn't say nothing. Now, that doesn't mean that was something negative, because I felt this way. It was either one or two things. Either one, you didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
And so it was just like, whoa, I won't, you know, say anything. I was thinking you would at least say, praise the Lord, brother. You know, so some of that, you know, at least that. Or it could have been there's something about it you wasn't feeling, and so you didn't touch it. And I don't think it's anything else outside of those two things. Either you didn't know what to say, or you was like, I ain't gonna say nothing. Now, what was so interesting is, and I think this has to do with all of our individual witness. There were people who were like, you know, hey man, I understand that. There was people like, yep, I just stopped too, and all that. And I feel like that's who I'm built for.
Right.
Those are the people I'm sharing that, you know, with. And those people who kind of get that. And maybe some people who, you know, like hit me on the side, that's like, they still struggling with certain things, right? I'm like, all right, that's who is. But it's very interesting. And the people that I'm talking about are all professing believers.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about unbelievers, because, you know, it's easy for an unbeliever to chime in on that and just be curious and say, but I don't know. And it's some of that I felt is kind of connected to their self-image.
Yeah.
And protecting that. Like, so if I think it's negative, then I don't want to like it to say that, hey, that was a good thing that you handled it like that you said that in the public.
Yeah.
Like that. You know what I mean? And if you don't think I should have, then it's like, I don't touch it. And then, like I said, it could be you didn't know what to say, but that's kind of odd to me as a believer. You didn't know what to say. And again, we talking about the regulars that always say something on the post. Good, small posts, long posts, all of them. And that's the funny thing about social media, because if you're very aware and you're very observant, you'll see these things. You'll see who said something, and then you also go, this person who always says something didn't say anything. Yeah. And I don't know. And it just made me, and then there was some negative feedback. I can't get into too much detail about that part, about how I presented some of the stuff I did during the podcast. And I had to, you know, understand from their perspective. You know, I told them, you know, I totally, you know, feel that. there was no malicious intent on my end.
Right.
I'm just, was sharing what happened in that time frame. And what I took from that is there are people who are so, I think, are so much into their self-image that if, as a Christian, that if it looked like it was tainted because of how something was presented, that's the issue. I have issue with that. And, forget that you're saying that, man, God has freed you from something and you're, it's you seem to be more focused on how you looked in the scenario. Like I said, I can't get into the detail about that.
I get that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because we have such a diverse group of people that we're interacting with.
Yeah.
And a lot of us don't know what this kind of courage means.
Yeah.
We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what the fallout is. And I think there's a group of us that think we're adults and we'll be able to hash through this and figure out what's the God part. And if you think that there's something over here, okay, there's something over there. You can look at it a different way than he did. But can we have the conversation?
That's it, James.
Can we have the conversation? And that makes us, now let's be honest. This puts us in a reckless category with a lot of people.
How though?
Because the saving face crowd thinks that it's the only play. Like you have to, don't talk about that, brother. Oh, don't talk about that, brother. And your thing is you cut from a different cloth. You like, but this happened. When this happened. Mm-hmm. Why would I not talk about this? This happened. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about it because it's not just my problem. It's not just my story. Like this is going to help somebody eventually if we talk about it. But there's a group that says like some things we just don't talk about. And I don't know how healthy that is, but it don't seem to work. Like it's a group of people that typically it's a group of people that raised us just on average. Mm-hmm. And they took, like my granny took some stuff to the grave, yo. Oh. I'm talking about some dark stuff.
But look,
she took it to the grave.
Yeah.
And never came clean about it.
Yeah, but what happens
and it left
damage. It comes out though.
It did.
It comes out.
And I can think of like 4 different stories that are just traumatizing, Tyler Perry level stories about stuff that
exactly
people didn't want to come clean with. Mm-hmm. And I just don't even want to talk about it. You know what I mean? But I think y'all go ahead, man.
Nah,
you on to something though, Jay.
It I don't know, it was just weird. And for me, because it was such a struggle and something in my life for so long. And kind of like, it's almost, I'm going to tell you, it almost felt like prodigal son, right? Comes home. Pops is throwing a party. It's all good. But my brother over there is salty. Mm. And I'm like, And I've even heard that brother, that salty brother, may not be saved. Like, I've heard that preached that way. I'm like, And that brother who didn't go out and squander his money and whatever was like, I didn't do that. I look better.
Yeah. But we thought he was dead, is what the dad said. Hey, we thought he was dead. Remember that part? We thought he was dead. That's what we celebrating.
Yep.
We thought he was dead. It was a famine. He's gone.
Yeah.
We ain't heard from him. And we thought he was dead, is what you're supposed to take away from that. And I think that's the part that we don't want to. There's a bunch of us that are like, we have messy conversations on here. We don't have to admit that. That's obvious. You can go back. It's on paper. It's recorded at this point. It's recorded. We have messy conversations on here. But there's a whole group of people that'll tap in and be like, I needed that. I needed to hear that. And they need to hear it the way that we do it. Like, but if you do it any other way, I don't know if it works, Jay, because I don't know.
But ain't the point of a testimony is to share your experience, to praise God, and to encourage others?
That's all I thought I was doing. That's all I planned on doing.
And that's what these conversations pretty much are.
So why would you feel weird about it?
Yeah.
And I don't know, because again, I don't know why, certain people didn't respond. But in my reasoning and sitting around thinking, I'm like, it had to be one of those two. You just didn't know what to say, which I can understand, whatever. Or you don't like what I just put out there.
Man, please, this a whole group of people ain't never knew what to do with the three of us. Let's just be honest. Let's just say that out loud. Let's just quickly go back to that truth. There's a group of people that have never really known what to do with you, Jay. You just don't say things the way you're supposed to. You don't dress the way you're supposed to. You don't do none of the supposed to polished Christian.
You don't
obedient.
either, Buki
has never done it,
and you don't either, James. But
I don't even do it in the pulpit. I don't even do what I'm supposed to do when I'm preaching.
But your community is built up in such a way that they don't major in the minors, as they say.
Oh, I was talking about them. What you talking about?
No,
I'm talking about them.
know,
There's a few of them that come to me and be like, bro, I don't know if you should have did that like that, said that.
But
like
I'm
that.
saying overall, you're still in the pulpit. Overall, you're still serving. They're not doing the, brother, you need to sit down. That's what I mean, major and the minor. That's not happening.
Okay.
Your credibility is still intact because they can still look at your life and go, nah, that's a brother in the Lord. He doing who God made him to be. And he's comfortable with that.
What matters to me
you being
more,
real generous, man. I think you're being really generous.
But here's the thing.
I know there's a group of people
here's
like
the thing.
that, but you know what I'm saying.
But I will say this: in the community that we're in, you're out front more than I am.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hear more feedback. I don't preach. You preach. So yes, you're gonna get, and you run a lighthouse.
I'm saying
you're gonna hear.
Rub people wrong is what I'm saying, Jay.
I know,
that,
you be trying to help me see that.
That's a thing, man. That's always been a thing. It's always been why I've been on this remnant. It's got to be another conversation type thing. What you think, Boogie?
I think what's more important to me is the sinner's response.
Yeah.
The response I get from those that aren't saved.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we always talk about things we say, things we do. That is not sin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's not, like you said, not the ideal Christian look, that the way that they think that people should look as a Christian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when a sinner respects your conversation, when a sinner comes to you for counsel, when a sinner comes for you for prayer, that means you're doing something right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It means something to me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I count it up, because I mean, you can look this certain way, but how many sinners actually coming to you and actually asking for your help or for your counsel?
Exactly.
Throw the new convert and throw the unchurched person in there, not just a total unbeliever, but that new person, that unchurched, unpolished person. They watching you, Joe.
They're watching and they're listening and watching it. And like I said, when my coworkers came to the picnic time, she's like, "Oh, Buki, you the same person that worked and you are here with your church family. What am I supposed to be different?"
Exactly. And that, to me, Buki, that is where I think we all should be falling in as believers. I think you should see me with my church family and see I'm a certain way, and then see me at work in the same way. There shouldn't be too much, code switching, unless, of course, we talking about professionalism at work and how we handle it.
Sure.
But in the break room or at lunch, I should be the same person that you talking to there as if we were talking in front of my church.
Yeah.
Just church let out. I should be the same. You should be able to sense that. And I think that whole playing that image game gets us in trouble.
Yeah.
Because people can sniff that out.
Yeah.
They could be like, he just changed up. And they might not even have that conversation with you and say that with you, but they'd be like, he a little two-faced. And it's kind of like, I despise that. I never want to, look that way. And I don't mind making the mistakes in front of you.
I see that.
That's your problem. That's your problem. If you want to know why the polished group that think polished is biblical, they don't want to hear nothing about you making mistakes.
Bruh.
They don't want to hear that. Dog.
I just went out with my boy Chris Delphal, shout out to him.
Yeah.
And he wants, help me learn the game of golf. And he was trying to get at me for years. And I was like, all right, finally, right? So I just posted last week, some of my first swings. Yeah. And it was on me like that swing was weak, whatever. But you know what, fam? I want you to see the beginning.
Yeah. Because
once I'm hitting it like a professional, you can look back and see the progression and be like, yo, that dude really worked on that.
Yeah.
So that's what I hope that happens. I don't know how long it's gonna take me. But I don't care about showing that part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like we all start somewhere.
Right.
And I think in this whole social media world, everybody tries to just edit their best parts and put it out there and be like, hey, me and my wife having a good time. Well, how about when y'all not having a good time? You want to bring that? Oh no, we don't. You don't post that kind of stuff. And I'm like saying I don't post everything, but I'm just saying if I can post how I'm having a good time, I think I can post I'm not having a good time today. And what's wrong with that?
Everybody want to see the ending, but the journey is what's important.
Yeah, that's so true, man.
That's the biggest impact is the journey.
It's so true.
Everybody want to celebrate the end, but no, let's look at the journey. Let's see how we got here.
Exactly.
And that's what the most impactful to people.
Because I need to see that you were regular fumbling through it like I was. Because if you were just born on third base, how is that supposed to inspire me?
Thank you.
If you was ready to go, like you just was born with this and that and the third, and now you just started on third base, I don't feel inspired by that. I'm starting from nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying, Jay. And you always been like that. When we go on our little couples trips, it'd be a few different couples. We usually have some real heartfelt moments where we talk about stuff. And one of the conversations we had was like, so what do you think the other couple brings to the table? And we had one couple that's always like all over each other. We were like, oh, they romance is dope. You know what I mean? And it's another couple, they just been friends forever since like junior high. So we like that friendship is fire. And then somebody else would be like, oh, this is whatever they have. And the one that seems to come up with Jay and his wife all the time, their transparency is just like raw. Everybody says transparent. Everybody says raw, and not in a way that anybody thinks that you celebrating. See, that's the part that makes it biblical. When you read the Gospel of Mark, that's Peter talking.
Yeah,
that's Peter talking, and he tells on himself all the time. If you read the book of Mark, you can see Peter telling on himself. So he didn't sanitize his story. You can see that with all these different stories. They don't sanitize their stories. They like, yeah, I wrote this and this is how I acted a fool up until God helped me. So our heroes are like this. And but it's so intimidating to be like, let me just put it all out there. It's intimidating. So we need people that'll take the bullets like Jay will take a bullet and make the rest of us feel like, oh, well, if he can talk about that, then hey.
But you know what? That's what I was sharing on the last episode, because other people had did that around me.
Of course.
And it was an effect like, yo, that's very effective. And that's making me comfortable. And I need to come clean like that too.
Yeah.
But another thing that I noticed, and this wasn't so surprising, and I showed y'all this, the little numbers or whatever, is that as soon as the title was Drill Stop Smoking Weed, we got more hits within 48 hours of that posting than any other podcast that we have done in 7 days. So it took, for the most part, those numbers for 7 days of those podcasts, it took 40. And I already know if I brought it up, we've surpassed that at this point. And it made me feel like, oh, so we present something that sounds a little messy or a little dramatic, and everybody ran to it. I had people comment like, oh, you like talking to me offline or whatever. And I'm like, I never heard you ever listen to the podcast. Ever. Like ever mention anything about, but this one, oh, you have something to say about this. We got 16 others that we didn't probably said some wilder things on.
Yeah.
But this one, all of a sudden it was like that whole car wreck effect, that everybody slows down to look at the car wreck type of deal. And it made me think, and I'm talking for the most part, these are believers, right?
Yeah.
So what? So I got to talk dramatic or some dirt to get you to listen to the podcast. Now you interested?
This is part of what it is. There's a level. There's a level of polish that the American Christian church has never admitted is toxic and fake.
That's true.
And we all have the tendency to want to save face when it looks like it's going to be a little bit crunchy. But I think it's a reformation. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say what I've been thinking. I think there's like a reformation starting. And I see like the Preston and Marcus Rodgers beef is all a part of it. There's this, like Philip Mitchell is buzzing from 2819 Church, and Eric Mason, his platform is extending, and there's a whole host of other people like the Jackie Hill Perrys and Lecrae and a whole bunch of people that speak our language. We don't agree with everything, right? But they speak our language, and they speak it in a way that the unbeliever is like, okay, I can listen to that a little differently than my grandmama pastor.
Yeah.
That's happening.
I believe that.
That is happening, and we're in on it.
I believe
because
that too.
we grew up with the same heroes: R.C. Sproul, Tony Evans, John Piper, John MacArthur. We grew up off these same heroes. Go listen to all of them talk.
Yep.
They got John MacArthur study Bibles. They got Tony Evans study Bibles. They came up under. They've been at the Piper conferences. We were all at the Craig conferences together. We were all at these same Brian Dye, and all these people raised us in the faith. You know what I mean? Legacy conferences. These people raised us. If you want to talk about the Urban Youth Workers Conference or whatever other conference you want to talk about, we all been in these same rooms. If you want to go all the way back to Lyricist Lounge, Rhetoric, this is the same group of people, the Unashamed Tours, the Cross Movements, and you'll hear that we've been all on this same branch for about 2 decades now. And now we are some of the thought leaders now. Sho Baraka, his brother Dahadi, like these people have conferences and platforms, My Boulevard platforms, and campaign platforms. So there's a reformation in progress as we speak, is how I've been hearing it.
I hear you.
As we speak, it's in progress.
That.
And there's a group of people that will listen to some polished person talk and kind of beat up somebody with the law. And then somebody like Buki will say, well, there's another side to it. And that person will be like, I need to hear more from him. I need to hear more from him.
And I'm gonna tell you,
that man speaks my language.
I'm locked into him, James, because I'm gonna tell you, I really don't have a lot of time for the naysayers. And this next thing I'm finna pull off, I'm gonna tell you what the problem is, and I'm gonna tell y'all early what the problem is. There is gross usage of the N-word in something that I'm gonna produce, right? And it comes from a real place. It comes from something that happened to me, and I'm telling the story, right? But I know it's gonna be like, why you use that word? And I get it, but I have already resolved that there is somebody that I'm trying to reach with my testimony that is not well churched, and there's people who. And what I mean by it is they're not as polished. They're not these polished people that you're talking about, because those are the ones going to be like, whoa, brother.
Always about everything.
But I understand that, and I'm not going to, fight that when that happens. But my thing is, I know there was a time when I needed to stand in different people's churches to spread what I'm doing. I'm a Christian artist, and so I need to go into your church in order to spread what I'm doing. Well, I know that era is over with. I don't mind. Invite me. That's cool. But I plan on going into your home. And the easiest way to go into everybody's home in 2024 is on these things right here, these smartphones.
Yes, sir.
And all I have to do is the same thing we doing with the pod, is creating stuff that people can have access to. And so all the gatekeepers that they probably still exist, that would be like, oh, you're not coming here saying those things, and that's a little too much. That's fine. And I would agree. That's, it may not be for your church, or in your pulpit, using the N-word in the pulpit. Come on, James. I can't expect, pastors to be like, oh, come on. But guess what? That's not my goal.
Right.
My goal is not to be there. My goal is to be where I feel people who can relate and I'm ministering to. Yeah. And the people that I'm ministering to, they're not going to trip off, especially when they get how it's being used in the context. And then they'll be like, okay, if I be honest, that's what was going on. And I'm just sharing it, what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's what was going on. And there's a progression to it. It doesn't just stay there. It starts, if I be honest, it starts with, hey, man, I'm jacked up and I need help. Then it moves to, hey, cry out for help. And then get it. And then celebration, prodigal son comes home. Oh, let's celebrate. Not a natural progression, testimony. But I'm already prepared that when they hear the N-word, they're going to be like, it's not of God. And then my boy, we talk about Marcus, he got the N-word demon in him.
They gonna have something for you, bro.
All that. And then what's so funny is when you're sitting around not trying to help and not trying to do, you don't get anything. You don't get any pushback. You get probably chuckles and giggles. Yeah, brother, whatever. But as soon as you step out and you say you're trying to help somebody, then you get the naysayers.
Yeah. I just noticed the frustration on Preston's face while he was trying to talk a totally different language to somebody.
Yeah.
It was just I took it like, I hear you, Lord. I hear you. This man is trying to say something very sensible.
Yeah.
He's trying to say some practical biblical truth to this person who is just salacious in all kinds of biblical things. That man, Marcus Rodgers, is bad for the faith, bro. I'm with Preston on that. And trying to explain it to Marcus Rodgers was like trying to explain math to an ant. It just wasn't working.
It's not going to work.
It just wasn't working. And I'm not trying to belittle dude. Like, I think he means well, but it's clearly a different conversation being had. And so many people try to say, oh, y'all divisive, or you breaking up stuff. I'm like, nah, I think we speak two different languages. I really think there's a group of people that get us, and there's a group of people that just ain't. They just ain't. And it's like, what can you do with that, Jay? You ain't built for them anyway. You were never built for them.
You need to resolve that in the beginning.
I know, that's hard for me.
That's
hard for me because I want to help everybody.
Yeah, but all you got to do,
and I want to be liked by everybody, right?
Yeah,
and you got to come to terms with that. That's just not going to happen.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah,
you don't even have to be a believer. You be an unbeliever doing unbeliever things, and everybody's not going to go with you. That's just a part of life. But I'm just saying, it's like, let's focus on the people we are helping.
Yeah, you heard how Bookie did it. He was like, well, would you feel a way about your pastor? He's like, I'm not going to feel a way. That's somebody comfortable in their skin.
Yeah.
Like, that's not no threat to me.
Yeah.
If somebody has a disagreement, difference of opinion, I've already resolved that I'm going to be the minority in every room that I walk, almost every room I walk in. That's how you sound. That's how you sound to me, Bookie. Like, I've already resolved I'm going to be the minority in most of my conversations. And that's not necessarily a badge of honor. That don't make me right. Nope. It just means like you just adjusted to the fact that, hey, most people not going to get this.
Yeah.
We signed up for a group that was ostracized and criticized and persecuted and in different varying degrees, right? But it's a group that's countercultural to almost everything that people bring to the table. Almost everything. Yep. Oh, let's hustle. Well, the Bible says don't wear yourself out to be wealthy. Oh, so you're not with the grind either? No.
No.
Oh, let's have multiple babies by multiple women. Oh, that's not what the Bible was teaching. That ain't. Mm-mm. Oh, so you're not with that. You're not trying. Oh, well, let's celebrate our blackness and however we be black. Well, hold on, everything black, everything we do ain't holy, bro. We can't
Yep.
So every room you go in, you're gonna be like, oh, you bad for business on this level too. And so it's like it's a trip because I think that's why I keep calling this a refuge for me and for people like me because I'm like I don't have to explain myself in this space. Yeah. I like that, and y'all don't agree with everything I say. You know that we push back all the time, but it's like he gets to have that opinion.
Yeah,
I don't have to agree with him to welcome his perspective. I don't have to agree with you to welcome that perspective, and that makes the conversation way more messy.
Enjoy diversity. That's what I do. I enjoy it. I get to hear a different perspective. Do you think I want to sit around and hear my perspective over and over again? Like, what kind of fun is that?
Yeah.
What kind of interest in life? Like, how long can you do that? Sitting around and everybody agreeing with everything you saying. That's the stuff that drives celebrities crazy.
Yeah.
They surround themselves with just yes man. Yeah. And to be honest with you, that was probably a lot of Kanye's problem. He had a bunch of people around him. Yeah.
Top of your food chain.
Yeah. And then his real close friend, I believe the one that did the video on him.
The video dude.
That was a close friend saying, man, something ain't right. And if you watch that doc, that's how that doc ends. Something ain't right with my friend.
They not on good terms at the end of that joint, from what I remember.
And what it looked like for me is he was just trying to tell him the truth.
Yeah.
He was one of probably the first people to see, like, my boy is off. But everybody around him like, yeah, keep going. Yep. Until he just kept going. And now it's like, I don't know who can pull him in. And it ain't no hit record that could come out. He'll still drop some music and we'd be like, oh, that's tight. But I think it's at the point where if God don't intervene and do something for real, he ain't gonna have the effect that he want to have. And it's kind of like people have just said, hey, your boy is crazy. Low key, it's just like, I think he's a little off, but all right, whatever. And credibility is out the window. So I don't know. Looking back, that was just interesting. But we tell you, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I think us being free to tell our testimonies, James, you don't have no problem talking about the foolishness that you did. You have no problem talking about foolishness that was in your past. You have no problem even talking about your marriage and all the craziness that took place in the beginning or whatever, or the craziness that may have took place last week. You have no problem, right? But I notice over time, and this is people who you may have been around for, I'm talking about decades plus, they don't seem to have that same freedom. And they seem to shape it in such a way where it's like they don't look bad. And you start thinking like, this person ain't really did bad. But guess what? As I became older and I matured, I'm like, I know you did. First of all, we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. So you got some story somewhere. And I think back in the day, and I always bring this up, our elders did a great job at one point, especially, and I'm just talking about when we was at Westside, and then it was a couples fellowship thing, and then and I don't know what made them do that. I don't even know what prompted them to do that, but we had this little meeting where they just told all their little craziness that happened in the beginning. All of them, each one of them told their craziness, and I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't have never guessed.
Yeah.
And why did they do that? Did they do that to celebrate all that craziness that they were doing? Nah, they were letting you know that, look, you can start there and be there, but let God, take over the wheel, if you will, and you can change. You got to trust him. There's going to be some stuff that you're going to have to do, but we didn't start off like this. And boy, that helped me. I walked away from that saying, boy, there is help for me.
Oh, we could be for real over here?
Exactly.
Ooh, I wasn't sure. I had a funny feeling we could, but I definitely needed to see somebody who was comfortable in that. And that made such a difference. I know what you're talking about. And that happened in some of my other churches too. Like, It wasn't just in this space, but it was it's pronounced when you find yourself seeing your flaws and being able to say, let me talk about this before somebody I think too much of myself. Let me talk about this before somebody think you can't get past this.
Yep.
Let's talk about this stuff, because that's how the real, I don't know what you call it, but that's how the real progress gets made, in my opinion. I don't know enough, but I have a funny feeling.
Remember what used to help me? Not used to help, but what helped me was remember we used to go to those men's meetings in the woods. Remember we went a couple of times.
Let me tell you, that's some of the sweetest memories, brother. I have. I'm telling you, like, no joke. Like I think about that, especially that night we was in that. We was in the woods. It was one of those, but they had that hot cocoa machine or whatever.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Okay, and we was killing it. No, I think it was cappuccino. And we was killing. Yes, in the lounge, and we was just up drinking cappuccino.
It was like 6 of us in there. The only ones in there.
Yes,
Okay.
all night. Like those moments, bro. You right, Bookie, and just. I mean, we were young and we didn't know as much as we know now, whatever. But it just opened up like these opportunities for us to share our hearts, and thank God that there were elders and cats around us who didn't think it was weird. Yeah, that we, that we did that. It was just like
I remember the one pastor. He still pastors now.
Yeah,
and he was like, he was in there doing his talk. We was all sitting in the room. He was like, "Yeah, man, like I'd be tired, come home from work. I just want to go home, sit on the couch, crack open my beer, drink my beer, and watch my TV." And I'm young. I'm like, he drinking beer? Ain't that a sin?
Yeah, exactly. We young. We like, man. But now, as much older men, we ain't tripping about that.
Now we can look back and be like, now I understand the conversation.
Exactly.
Like, he's a pastor, but this is a real dude. You know what I'm saying? He's living real life.
Exactly.
And I think that was like, those meetings, that was the foundation for me. Like, man, I'm who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love God and I'm who I am.
Yeah.
I listen to who y'all say is calling y'all. Not, I just hear like, oh, it's such and such. Oh, remember the one dude that got killed. Mm-hmm. And I remember like, oh man, I've been talking to old boy. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, me too. I'll be chopping it up with him too. Mm-hmm. Like, he really trying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I talk to you and I hear some of the names of the people that you talking to. And I'm taking notes. I'm not trying to be all like I know what that means. But I'm like, your boys from high school still call you. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't go to church, they still want to hear what your spiritual journey is like. They still want to. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. Like I'm seeing like the breadcrumbs of what's going on. Because there's a type of person that says, well, man, there's only a couple people that I could really, really rock. It's such and such and such and such. And these are the names that will come up. And it's no badge of honor or anything. It's just a reality that there's a group of people that we can talk to and it'll really resonate. Yeah. And then there's another group of people that's like, y'all not polished enough. And for a while, I would be like, well, what am I doing wrong?
So I could be polished and be over there.
Like, what do I need to do?
And God was telling you, I built you for them people over there. I built Polished Boy over there for polished people. Yeah. And that's a part of the body too. Yeah. But that's not you.
That's not you.
Now, you can learn from him and y'all, because y'all brothers.
Right.
But I sending you over there.
That's right.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Go ahead.
There's some people I'll be like, yeah, go talk to the pastor, build a relationship with him, because I'm like, you ain't ready for my relationship. I don't want no blood on my hands. But just joking. But seriously, it's like, you might need to mature a little more. You need to be around somebody that's going to
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't want to send youngin off the cliff accidentally. Listening to some of my conversations.
And what I've learned in the past, like, things that I love to do is not more important than the person's soul.
That's right.
Right.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I think that's what we got to get. And we got to get to.
Yeah, and we can always get back to those things. That's another thing. I can put that down, bro.
Exactly.
And have this moment with you, whatever. I don't have to do that tonight. Now, next weekend, that's gonna be. We already got it planned. Yeah. That's what. But I don't have to, and I like that. And it's not like, oh, I just got to be me. I don't want you to interpret like, oh, I just got to be me and just let it loose all the time. And if you're going to be around me, it's just, that's not what I'm saying. I think, you got to have a little bit more discernment.
Because, I was out with somebody, right? It wasn't like a couples date thing, but it was a few couples there together. But me, my wife, and this other couple happened to go into the same restaurant to get something to eat, right? Mm-hmm. But we were all together. It was like one of them. It was down in El Segundo where there's a bunch of different like eating spots in this one area, right?
Yeah.
So we in this burger joint, and we all sat down. I was like, oh, you know what? Oh, this cocktail look good. Like, I'm about to go grab me one of these little cocktails. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I asked my man, it's like, oh, you want me to grab you something? I got you. What you want? Oh, nah, I don't drink. I used to be an alcoholic back in the day, so I don't mess with it. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I leave, I go, and I come back with a Coke. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting down. He's like, oh, you ain't get your drink? Nah, it's not that important to me.
Exactly.
Because just by you expressing to me that you used to be an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to.
That's it, Buki.
Give you any kind of temptation or lead you any astray because I want,
and I don't have to drink right
and
now.
I don't have to drink
because you have that freedom.
Exactly.
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 And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, I have the freedom, but I don't have to flex that, especially when somebody has expressed like, yo, I'm struggling with something. I still don't have to be like you could have still did it and you wouldn't have been in sin, but you're thinking that because he shared that with you, you're like, oh man, I really don't have to. I don't even want to sway him, in that way. And you may not have, you know what I mean? But because he mentioned it to you, you like, nah, man, I don't have to. And that's cool. Because like you said, we got liberty to do that. And you should have liberty to be like, it ain't that important. And you know what I'm saying? I can kick it with my boy.
Yeah, because I love the comment that you made on my post when I posted your video, our video. And when Joey was like, he was talking about the whole weed situation. And he was like, well, when it starts controlling me, then it becomes an idol. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And I was like, that's it right there.
I'm like, yeah. And then you should have noted that I also brought up the pimp book again.
I thought about that. I was going to with his pimp book.
There we go.
No, I don't think Pimp by Iceberg Slim is scripture. I don't think that. But it was that book, and I read it. I read it when I lived in Inglewood. That's when I remember reading it. And I remember that line that I shared with him that convicted me all the way back then. And the line was something that, he talked about marijuana in the book. Okay. And he called it a horse high.
Yeah, horse high. That's what you said. Yeah.
And it was like, because it keeps him on the stroll. And I was like, I'm doing a horse high. And that just that really convicted me. And then I thought about it, and it's like, you'll be wasting time. I'm talking about when you just give yourself to it. You do it all. Even time will go by and you don't realize it, right? And he agreed that when I posted that, he was like, that does happen. So
because he had some struggles too.
Yeah,
he just recently got off some struggles for about a couple years now, and he kind of mentioned it in the post.
Yeah, he did.
But and that's what I'm saying. Like when you help the sinner, it's more important than what any other Christian got to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I'm locked in.
You're not the goal.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
Why you think so highly of yourself that you think you are the goal?
Yeah, that's another thing. That's the big thing. Like, why do you think so much of yourself that you're the goal? But you got to have some naysayers, James. That's keep doing it. Let's keep doing the pod. Let's just keep putting. You're gonna get the naysayers.
Haters in the kingdom, dog.
Yeah, and you gotta
haters in the kingdom,
and they don't show up until you work.
Yeah, hello.
You start working, and you already get it. That's why I know you working. You already get it, and you always be trying to like, Jay, I'm telling you, everybody's not. See, I get to hide because I'm not out front, and I'm talking about our immediate church circle. I'm not up speaking, so you have to take the time to come to me off of something maybe you seen on social media or something that you saw me do. And you have to, but you out speaking and teaching, and so you gonna get it a little bit.
Yeah, because it's just a difference. There's just a difference, and because we're all growing at different levels, we're all approaching these moments from different perspectives, which is fine. I mean, I'm in the same space. Y'all are waiting for me to grow up in certain areas, and vice versa, right? We all waiting. We all got strengths and struggles, but what I'm noticing, like in our immediate American little Christian space, is there's a group of people that just want to play church.
Yeah, buddy.
And they are just satisfied with the status quo. And then there's another group of people that have an itch and they can't get rid of it. Like, I just want to be way more authentic than that.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else that feels that? And then you start coming across the Prestons and different people expressing themselves, and even some of it is crunchy, like when Lecrae says certain stuff about like, yeah man, I blew it on that one, I messed up that one, or yeah, I was drunk them 2 years, I was drunk all the time, and they were like, oh my gosh, Lecrae, you can't say that, and I'm thinking, why not?
Did it happen?
That happened.
Is he lying? Is he telling his story?
It happened. Why don't you want to know that that's what happened?
And then when I crack open my Bible, and let's just leave everybody, all contemporary cats off the table right now, and I crack up my Bible, I see they mess too.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like, it wasn't deleted.
Like, don't you want to know the difference between Peter and Judas? That's what I be thinking.
Yeah.
Don't you want to know the difference? Because they both blew it royally that weekend.
Yeah.
Don't you want to hear Peter's story? Because you don't want to be Judas. Don't you want to hear what it sounds like to be Peter? Because you're going to blow it just like that.
Yep.
Why don't you want to hear that? Because if you don't hear Peter's story, fam, you might end up being Judas.
Exactly.
Because they look the same. They look the same. On
Rolling in the
Friday
same
night,
circle.
they look the same.
They both was around Jesus.
Don't you want to hear on Monday what Peter's like? Hey man, let me tell you. Let me
Yep.
tell you what happened. I want to hear Peter talk, because on Friday night, Peter and Judas look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I need to hear what Peter, tell me what happened. Once you got right,
Yeah.
tell me what I need to do. What's my play when I blow it like that? Okay, here's what you do, and here's what you don't do. You don't fake like you can't go back and ask for help. You don't do that.
Man.
As soon as you realize you blew it,
Yes.
you go running for help. You go
That's
ask
it.
for help. Because what Judas did was say something like, oh man, I've betrayed an innocent man. Oh well, I'll go kill myself. Like, that's what he did.
Yep.
Or Peter was like, man, I betrayed the Savior. Sheesh, let me go see if I can get right, you know. And I'm paraphrasing. I'm probably
I know.
taking too many liberties, but
We
you
get
get
it.
the idea. Like, I need to hear what Cray did different. You gonna act like Cray's not a big part of what's happening in American Christianity? He's a huge part of it. You're
Yep.
gonna act like Jackie Hill Perry ain't a big part of what people are learning from. Sarita Lyons and Tony Evans. You don't want to hear what Tony Evans when he dropped the ball. You don't want to hear when Matt Chandler dropped the ball. You don't want to hear what happened. These not the other dudes that
Then
dropped
you
the
must
ball.
not want to
These
read.
are
You
these
must
are
not want to read your Bible then either.
Oh, sorry.
And you're gonna get to the part where they drop the ball. You're gonna be like, well, we ain't got to read that chapter. That's part of it.
All right.
You can't divorce that. It's a part of it. I'm not telling you to celebrate your sin. I'm telling you that you, apart from the grace of God, you're really bad at this. And that's just the reality. When we move away from God, when I moved my hand away from God, and I'm like, oh, I got this, I'm gonna do it my way. I was really bad at it,
Yeah.
and it came to light. This is you're not good at this. You need to get back with your Creator and lock in and just do life on life terms, and that is what it is. So
yeah, it's helping. It's helping because I know how much them conversations been helping me. Maybe not our conversation, but I mean,
I know
over
what
the
you mean.
years,
Yep.
hearing somebody give up like, oh yeah, we was about ready to divorce about 2-3 times. What? Wait a minute. What? Tell me more. Tell me more. What do I look for? What's the red flags? How did
Exactly.
y'all fix it? What am I supposed to do different?
now,
And now, if they never give me that information about how close they were to falling apart, I might not ask. Tell me more.
the next people
You feel me?
coming up don't know how to safeguard about it. If everybody acting like, oh, it's just all good, we just keep praying and we don't have problems, and it's not true. What did you do the last time y'all had problems?
They would rather listen to Black Marriage on Instagram than
Yeah.
actually listen to somebody that's actually close to them with the same story.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
I've been there. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I've been in that space where I didn't want to hear because I didn't believe we could be that authentic. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't
either
believe
at
it, and I
points.
didn't.
get
I definitely didn't want nobody to know all my mess. But you get to a place where you realize that's just not healthy and it's not biblical, and you just faking. And it's nothing you can. There's no way to get past this till you start admitting, like, nah. Let's talk about this for real. Let's talk about this for real. And then people start coming out the woodwork, but it's not the people that you would think. It's this other person that you didn't even know was trying,
Big.
but they just needed somebody that spoke their language, and that's what's dope.
I think that
That's what's dope.
everybody got this idea that disqualifies you from salvation or something. Like you have issues in life. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
What you mean by that?
Like the whole upbringing, like at different Christians, and like if you have these issues, you're not saved.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you're not supposed to have these kind of issues, these kind of feelings. You're supposed to walk around life with a pure holy mind 24/7. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you have if you have bad thoughts, you're really not saved. The Holy Spirit is not in you. You know what I'm saying?
They extra out with it, and because a lot of that is just some bad theology.
Yeah, and that's what it's just rooted in bad theology.
That is. I mean, to think that a person shouldn't sin anymore after they're saved, that's some bad theology.
Yeah,
and then to go as far as to say, oh, you had that thought, or you were doing that thing, or you probably not saved. Man, come on, give me chapter and verse. Now, granted, if I say this is my lifestyle and this is what I'm doing and it's something crazy and sinful, then yeah, it might need some heart checking and some, but just because somebody has fallen in a certain way or done a certain thing doesn't disqualify him. And that goes back to David. Go back to Moses.
Moses murdered somebody.
That's what I was saying. Somebody killed somebody.
And this is all these people are doing these acts while they're walking with God. You know what I'm saying? They're walking with God with these acts. This is not like salvation. You know what I'm saying? Like these are acts.
This is walking with God, and I killed somebody. And we would do that. Like we would see somebody do that today and be like, nah, I don't know if he's saved. It's worth saying that. I get it. But you keep looking and keeping examining and just looking at scriptures. That somebody was walking with God and did that very act that you think is just unforgivable. And I'm like, I don't know. It's about the theology.
Man, I'm excited. I'm glad you kicked that door open, bro. I'm glad you kicked that door open. I'm glad. Because there ain't no going back now.
No.
There ain't no going back. We done burnt the boats. We done burnt the boats. And ain't no going back. Now we just got to conquer this space right here because we done burnt the boats, baby.
Yeah. It was kind of crunchy, though, going to church and then wondering. Because, you know, a lot of my church family is connected to my social media.
Okay.
So I know a lot of people. I know for sure a lot of people saw it. Mm-hmm. And then they walk into church and be like, hey, brother, how you doing?
Sniffing you. He smell like that Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, it was a little crazy, but that could have been me. You know, a lot of that could have just been me. But I mean, like I said, we focus on who we can help, even with this pod or whatever. I'm focused on who God can send it to, and it be an encouragement and help to them. And naysayers, you know, they got to do what they got to do, and I'm not focused on that. I think it's a lot of work to be done, and yeah, it's gonna take some courage. Yeah, it's gonna take some boldness. But I hope I can encourage people to confess their sins one to another.
Hey,
it's some help beyond that. That's.
Did y'all see y'all timeline today? Bro, they done shot at you. They about to shoot your boy again today, fam. I got to talk about this. They was finna shoot Trump again today. Did you see that?
Yeah,
they had a cat in the bushes at Mar-a-Lago, in the bushes with the burner, 400 or 500 yards away from your man.
Matter of fact, by the time this pod drops, they gonna probably have a picture of the dude because they apprehended him.
Yeah, they caught him right away.
Yeah, they followed the car and yeah. So by the time we probably have a picture, whatever.
What you think, Bookie? Because it sounds like it's up your alley.
It's just so like, who's gonna question this man? Because the last FBI agent, the one that tried to indict Trump about the whole money situation in Russia and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. He got indicted for the same thing.
I missed that.
It was like earlier this year. He ended up getting indicted, and I think he's doing like 2 years in prison or something like that.
I heard
because
that.
he got charged
something like that
with the same thing he was trying to charge Trump with.
What?
Yeah, taking money.
But you said it, Boogie, on one of the podcasts. You said it. You was like, Trump. No, it was after the debate, and you was like, he talking about stopping that war. And he like, boy, you better stop. And then that made me think when that news came out today. I'm like, yeah, he did say that during the debate. Like, that's one to be the first things that he can't be messing up that war money, because Martin Luther King could say whatever he wanted, but as soon as you start talking against the war,
yeah, buddy,
Muhammad Ali could say whatever he wanted, but as soon as you start talking about against the war, JFK, same thing. They can say whatever they want. As soon as they start talking about against that war, I'm telling you, and I'm like, I don't know. Like you say, we be on a conspiracy. That I don't know.
He said it in the group chat. Remember when all that came out?
Yeah.
Bookie was like, listen,
that's when he said it.
You done already got your warning shot.
Yep.
They done already gave you your warning shot. So keep it up if you want to.
I'm going to tell you, if I was Trump right now, I ain't going to even front you. I ain't going to even hold you. I've been tapped out. I'm done.
For real?
I'm done with this. For real. I'm done. I'll be at my next rally like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, y'all can have it.
Y'all can have it. You know, I got a little bit of life left that I'm going to enjoy with my family. I'm not broke.
Right.
So I don't need, to be president. But it's, dude, I'm going to be too nervous going everywhere. Dude, I have not been shot at 2 times.
Yeah.
Where I've been grazed the first time. And then the second time, I'm just out having fun, relaxing, playing golf.
My spot.
This
my spot.
And this fool is in the bushes. Dude, I'm at the house. I'm done.
Y'all got it?
Y'all got it.
It's so many questions here, bro.
I'm done. They like, what? I'm not running no more. Republican Party, figure it out.
How do you know he even there?
Thank you.
It's so many questions there, bro.
That was the first question.
How do you even get set up?
Secret Service, I'm taking my chances with a few things. Secret Service ain't one of them.
I'm taking my chances with the Secret Service?
No, fam. No.
But Bookie just hit it on the head. How you know I'm finna be there? And how you know what bushes to be in?
Nah.
Exactly.
Who telling you? Where you getting your intel from?
Nah.
Mr. Whoever this is in the Nissan that they finna...
So the first time, okay, random dude, 20 years old, I'll let you have the first one. Whoever this dude is, also able to get this close, they just randomly not catching him on time. Like, I'm all right. Now I got to listen to Bookie now. See, I don't want to listen to Bookie at first.
The report was an AK with a scope. That's what he left in the bushes. I'm like, what? That don't sound like somebody random, bruh. That don't sound like somebody. That sound like somebody. Look, I'm finna set up right here, and he gonna be right there. Now, Secret Service doing their job.
Yeah,
and they like, oh, it's a fool in the bushes.
Yeah,
pop, and they didn't hit him.
He took off.
And he took off.
Right.
So I'm like, dude, I'm done. 2 attempts on my life, being a president don't mean that much to me, bruh. I'm about to go to Pizza Hut with my family and chill out the rest of my days.
I tried. Let the record show I tried. Y'all on your own. I tried.
Because I'm not going to be comfortable doing no more rallies. They tried to shoot me at the rally and while I'm kicking it. Yeah. So you telling me you don't care whether I'm at a rally with the Secret Service or chilling on my own time with the Secret. You still coming to get me.
Did y'all ever feel like he was a plant? Did y'all ever feel like he was in on the whole conversation and he's who they want in place? Did y'all ever feel like that? Trump. Like, oh, this is who they really want in place. Did y'all ever feel like that throughout this last 10 years? Because as of today, this is officially I'm backing out. Like, he's not a company man. You've never felt like that. I've never felt that. You've never felt like that. I never knew how to feel.
He never was a company man. That's how he got in.
That's
absolutely exactly how he got in.
But that's why everybody hates him. He's not a part.
What do you mean by everybody? Who is everybody you talking about? Not the people.
Good
not
question.
The people. I'm talking about everybody on the left hates him. Half the people on the right hate him.
Yeah.
He's not a part of the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not a politician.
I'll give you that.
He's not a politician.
He's a businessman, and he wants to run the country as a business. I mean, at this point, the country is a business. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta find out. We all numbers anyway. You know what I'm saying?
He might be the best man for the job for this.
Hello, you know what I'm saying?
If we talking about running business,
yeah. And so like And me and my politics and my conspiracies and different things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't need your money, I can't do nothing for you. Yeah. And this is, let's be honest, this is how the country runs.
Yeah, you're right.
Like Big Pharma runs, you know what I'm saying?
You
like this Big Pharma, all these lobbyists
getting stuff through.
Man,
Big Pharma and the NRA.
Here go that bag. Let's go. I need this push. They tell us this from day. They tell us this in our Civ Rec classes. You know what I'm saying? Our Civ classes. They teach us this. That
lobbying is legal.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
Lobbying is legal.
They just say, yeah, you can. Of course, you can do that.
Which is
like, yeah, pass this drug. Yeah, here go $2 million for your campaign. Yeah, we need this law passed so we get like,
which is a drop in the bucket for them.
And we talked about last time. The Rockefellers and them have been doing this since day one.
Exactly. So
we found out our whole life been a scam. Breakfast is a scam.
Exactly. So to me, along those lines of thinking, obviously to me at this point, somebody don't want your boy around.
Don't want him around.
I don't know who it is, but somebody don't want your boy around.
He told RFK that he can open up the JFK files.
Oh man,
he can open them up, unclassify them. Like, bro, do you know
what you saying and who might get in trouble with you doing that?
We gonna find out that the government was part of, you know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Boy, they
should have just stuck with the crazy
they
talk.
molding that boy face right now because he ain't gonna never come out and say nothing again. They molding his face for the Wednesday press conference.
Jays, I'm telling you.
They Mission Impossible that boy.
I'd have been
he talking about shutting down the Federal Reserve and all that.
I'm saying whoever ran from that bush, they molding his face right now so the CIA man can come out and tell you he's sorry. I didn't mean to, guys. I just don't trust nothing at this point, yo.
Nah, but like I said, put me in that man's shoes. I'm done, bruh.
I feel that more than ever tonight.
Forget that. You know what I'm saying? Dude, dude, I'm not gangbanging. Why am I getting shot at like this? You know? But it would just, on the real, it would just make me nervous, bruh. Like, my nerves would just be shot all the time. This is 2 times where somebody tried to take my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bruh, in the same year. Like, bruh, I'm good.
And he still got that. It's 50-50 from what everybody says. It's really 50. These next 2 months, is it even 2 months? These next 2 months is for real. They gonna make or break what happens. If elections are real, they gonna make or break what happens.
James, how I'm gonna get through a speech outside? How I'm gonna get through a speech without thinking? I'm just talking about on a human level. After all this has happened, I'm out. You think I'm gonna be looking around thinking everybody like dude, I'm gonna be shook. Like, man, the first dude that, you know, that they said tried to shoot him was supposed to be off a little bit, right? This dude is like extremist, whatever. I don't know. Okay. We didn't hear too much, right? So guy number 2, I can't wait to hear more about guy number 2. Is this person gonna be off extremist, whatever? He seems to be very organized. Cause how he know to stand up. People who are off and crazy and extreme, how they get intel, where they know that where you gonna be.
And when they say that the people that's supposed to be protecting you is a part of the plot.
I'm shook.
Like, what?
And I've always said that. I've always said that about like presidents having to have the Secret Service for the rest of their life, because it's like, it's not only just for your protection. They know that you know a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that
can't get captured.
Yeah, that you can't be captured, but it's like that could be going wrong if them people got corrupt.
Yeah.
If somebody, you know, in the Secret Service became corrupt, it's like, I don't want y'all around me. I don't know y'all. I don't know you know you. You here to be my best interest.
Look, you the president. You waterboard me one time. I'm giving you all the codes. I'm underwater giving you the codes.
That's why I'm like,
you better keep them around me. Don't let them capture me.
What does this change? Y'all good with the predictions, boy? Y'all been on it all year. What does this change?
It's just gonna throw his game off. I thought the first attempt on his life threw his game off a little bit, but now it's like, bruh, they making it hard. This last leg of the campaign is like the most important. This is when you really supposed to be touching everybody and really convincing people who are on the fence. But if you're thinking about losing your life as a result of doing it, it's like, and then you're not fully trusting the security that's around you. It's like, bruh.
I feel a little different, man. Listening to him at the debate, I feel like the first attempt kind of put a little battery in his back. Like, okay, I'm hurt. I'm ruffling feathers. But when they stuck Kamala in there, man, that shook him up. Like, oh, y'all done threw Biden away. We were at the debate. He was like, is he even alive? Where is he at? Like, I don't even know if he alive. Y'all just threw him away like a dog. That's what he said. Remember when he said that at the debate? Y'all just, like, I didn't know y'all could play at that level. It seemed like he was genuinely shook. Like, y'all could let a sitting president just take a backseat to whatever y'all agenda is. It seemed like it really threw him off. Like, oh, this is different.
But look, check this out.
This is y'all some gangsters.
Now, it's going to sound like a conspiracy, but it's not. It's facts. Look it up.
All right. Okay.
So, Davis, I think that's her name, the moderator, the black lady.
Okay,
is Kamala's sorority sister.
Okay,
the other guy, he's left wing.
Check this out.
And then wait, hold on, let's check this out. She goes on the LA Times and says, "Oh yeah, we know that all these candidates they always give the same answers to everything. So we went back and looked at all his debates and everything. So we came up with the questions to fact check him already because we already know what he's gonna say." He said, so how did Harris? Oh, we didn't do Harris. We just knew about man.
But I'm gonna say this.
Publicly said this, dog.
But look, when I watched the debate, Buki, without even knowing what you just said, I said the moderators seem to be on Kamala's side. And look, I don't have a dog in the race at all. I'm just observing it as an observer.
Not fair.
And I was like, the way that they was moderating, I was like, boy, they
was a triple WWE triple team.
It was. It was because they was like, because they would shoot down anything that Trump said, but they never did her like that. But they was like, oh, we knew you was gonna go there. Yeah. We already fact checked, especially about the dog part that everybody was laughing about.
Yeah. Is that how you want a debate to go? Like, come on, man. You know who called it out? Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil had 2 body language specialists on. Interviewing, assessing the debate through all of their body language expertise. Yeah. And he asked them, like, how did you feel about how the question was answered? And them body language experts was like, them was some biased debate moderators. They was making sure that everything went her way. They just said it. I'm in full agreement.
And I'm telling you, I watched that debate from the beginning to the end.
And you saw it firsthand.
Saw it live. And I was like, they seem to be tough on Trump. It's like they wasn't going to let him get on any kind of rant. And if you look at that thing, you can be like, and you can compare it to, because I watched the last debates that he did, the one with Biden, and it was a totally different feel, bruh. And like I said, I'm not. I don't have a dog in the race. I'm not leaning on either side. I just try to look at stuff objectively, and I ain't gonna front. I was like, nah, they seem like that. They in on it as well. like they checks cleared. Both of they checks cleared. And
that's what your boy, and I'm like this, and this is, we go back to like the rest of the world looking at us.
Yeah.
Your boy Steve Harvey goes when they was challenging him. Steve Harvey says, "Yeah, I gave her easy questions. If she come on again, I'm gonna throw her another lob."
Softballs, yeah.
Like what? And you really want the people to vote for her by her policies and what she have to say?
Look,
and you're not going to ask her real questions?
Here's the reality, Buki. Look, nobody has a plan for us. let's just keep praying to the Lord that he can keep things, he can sustain things despite all of this, but. People don't ultimately have no real plan for us.
This is what I tell people. Vote your interest. I always tell everybody that.
Yeah.
I said, just vote your interest.
It's just a job.
That's what John asked me. John asked me the other day. He was like, James, for real, how do you find yourself leaning towards Kamala? And I was like, she represents the fight for a lot of things that I care about. It don't seem like the other side is interested in the things that I actually care about. So like when people start talking about pro-life, like, I don't think that fight happens at Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
The pro-life fight happens in my living room with my daughters and my sons and my nephews and my nieces. When I show them how much I love their mama, how much I love their auntie, whatever, and she does the same.
Yeah.
That's how I win that. So we gonna celebrate marriage. We gonna celebrate monogamy. We gonna celebrate single. All my kids being in my house with me and my wife. Like, that's how your house is, Jay. That's how your house is. We're winning that fight at the grassroots level. To me, that doesn't mean that you can't vote right wing because that's your hill to die on. Go ahead and die on that hill, but it's not my hill because I feel like we can solve that somewhere else. We don't solve that up there. We solve that in our living rooms, and then other things like maybe like police reform or something like that. I think that's the stuff they supposed to be trying to solve. I can't solve that from my living room. I can't stop the dude for getting pulled over in San Diego and they busting his window open and all that kind of stuff. I can't solve that from my living room. So that's what I vote on. The kind of stuff that's supposed to be solved from that level is the stuff that I'm thinking about. Mm-hmm. I can solve the same gender stuff and all that kind of stuff. I'll solve that at Sunday school. I'll solve that in my backyard. I'll solve that talking to people that I'll talk to Elise. I'll talk to, I'm telling you, LJ. We'll solve that together at the grassroots level. I can't solve police immunity from where I sit. They have to solve that one.
Yeah.
They have to solve that one.
Yeah.
So I'm voting for my interests in those areas, like you said. That don't make me right.
Yeah.
But it does. That's what I will tell my kids. That's what I told John when he asked me. I was like, that's what I'll tell my kids. I'm voting for what I think they're supposed to be solving. And I'll solve the other stuff. Me and my wife will solve this other stuff in our living room. That may not be the right way, but that's really what that's what I landed on.
It's politics, and it's, I don't think there is an ultimate right or wrong way.
With this mess?
Yeah. With all of this, I don't believe it's just one ultimate if I cast my vote over here, everything is going to work and then they get in, everything is going to work right. And I don't think anybody really believes that, but people just moving with their convictions. They feel like, and back to the whole pro-life situation, there was a time where, and I remember Jason Love bringing this up, and there was a time when Republicans had the ability, they had everything lined up to actually get rid of it. I mean,
overturn.
They had, and they didn't.
The Senate.
Yeah. And they did.
The House and the presidency.
And they didn't.
But he did. Trump did, though. The whole Roe versus Wade thing. That's why they mad at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they had it. I'm saying prior to that. And they didn't, and they still was saying, oh, that's our big issue. But
this is my thing, Jay.
Yeah.
Trump's not that guy. He's not that company guy. So he's actually going in there trying to really do what he said he gonna do. Just like he talked about this week he came out. He was like, look, all these working class people, you working overtime, I'm not, we're gonna pass bill where you won't get taxed for your overtime.
Okay.
I'm like, what working class person don't want to do that? I work overtime. You work overtime?
Yeah.
A lot of people at my job don't want to work overtime because it's like a waste of time because you get taxed so heavily. So these are things that I'm looking at that he's talking about doing that says, okay, that's a check for me right there. Mm-hmm. Okay. With me, you're not gonna have to pay $12 for a carton of eggs no more. We're gonna go back to $2.99. That's a check for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at these are things that's gonna help me financially. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, tax breaks. You own a business. All of us trying to own businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So we're gonna get helped out in these areas.
See,
you know what I'm saying?
That's when he pulls me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's when he pulls me over because of those things, because those are some of my interests. And that's why I was saying, like, there isn't and just like an easy vote, because I can relate, well, image wise, I can relate to a Kamala, like, person of color, they might care about whatever, things that I care about, and I can see her helping people of color more so than this other one, image wise. But my mind won't let me get past the fact that we talk about politicians and they always say good things, so it's like whatever. But the businessman on the other end knows how to get in pull some strings business wise, probably more so than she can.
Yeah.
And thinking as a businessman, I'm like, this one over here might be, helping me out with tax breaks and things that's really going to affect me for the next 4 years.
And that's right.
Despite this
Exactly.
image. So it's like, it's not no easy fix for me. It's not like, I'll go with, it's like, I don't want Trump to be in because it's like, I got to deal with all his craziness that he does in the media and all of that extra stuff. But like I said, the business aspect is cool. I don't know about Kamala because it's like, I don't know what you going to
She
do.
haven't given you an answer to nothing yet.
And then
She filibustered on every debate.
And check this out. And people press her on her plan or what have you, even though I feel clearly she won the debate. But at the same time, I don't feel like I walked away with a plan. You beat the old man. I get you in the debate. That's what image wise it looked like.
Yeah.
But me walking away like, she got a plan that, I feel confident about. I can rock with her. Now I will say this, image wise, once Taylor Swift jumped up and said, I'm with her, I'm like, she gonna sway a lot of folks.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
Why
because
not?
that country music audience,
They Trump supporters.
they're Trump
They
supporters.
red hatters.
Yeah. She
Red
not-
hatters matter.
Like Taylor Swift, almost on the brinks of being out of the whole country music scene.
That's
Just-
true.
she's
I see her.
totally pop.
Yeah, she's pop.
Yeah.
She's more
so they're
pop
like,
than-
I just watched it. I just watched the CMA's. Actually, I was watching it last night, and you're talking about American flags, all that. I'm like, this is what the media ain't gonna show you what a Trump rally really looks like.
Yeah.
And it's black folks in the audience.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And it's actually black folks up there performing.
I'm knowing.
But you know what I was gonna say this when you was talking about Trump. Like, I was watching the Instagram reel the other day, and they was talking about Trump when he went over there, because they was comparing when Kamala was like, we took all the soldiers out of all the war zones, and nobody's over there and nobody got killed. And
Yeah, I
then
remember
they
saying-
went to the clip to the people in the army that's over in the war zone, like, where we at? You know what I'm saying? They're like, hold on, ain't nobody told us where we at. We still here. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
But then they went back to Trump, and it was like, it was a brother sitting there talking. He's like, man, listen here. Trump went over there, sat down, had a meeting with the leader of the Taliban, and told him, you better not touch another hair on none of the Americans again. And he said Trump went in his pocket, pulled out a picture of that man's house in his family.
I saw that. Yeah.
And he said he just walked out. He said, hey, after Trump did that, not another American got
Yeah.
touched.
Do what you want with that.
Yeah.
Do what you want with that picture.
Like, it ain't presidential.
There's some gangster ways,
But it worked.
You know
what I'm
it
saying?
worked.
Like, come
and
on.
America got gangster ways. So
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what he say? You walked up in NATO like, nah, y'all about to pay y'all bills. They say ain't nobody ever did that. He was like, nah, you about to pay your bills.
yeah.
They went and they pulled out their debit cards and start paying. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they will say he's not presidential, like how you say quote unquote presidential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude get things done.
Yeah.
Dude gets things done.
I think he getting too much done.
Hey,
though.
yeah, exactly. A little too much done.
He might be getting a little too much done.
That
Yeah,
man
'cause he
Jay
started-
said y'all can have it.
Man, I'm out, bro.
That's funny.
I'm out.
Because he's starting to mess with Big Pharma now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Messing with wars, big pharma, or NRA. You can't at this point in history. You can't do that in this country.
Oh, one more
That's
thing.
how I feel.
Hey, can I say this?
Sure.
He said, and this is another thing I love. He said, we about to find out why we taking all these vaccines, why everybody got autism.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. buddy.
man.
He's like, he said he go put a whole little group together, like y'all go investigate that.
Males. I think
Yeah.
it's boys who took the vaccine at a certain
Yeah.
age. They got a disproportionate amount of autism.
And then it was a lady, I can't remember who said it, but she's like, what happened after a certain time? She was like, they added like 30 some more medicines to the vaccine. Like some major happened. Like there was a big medical crisis. Why did they add so many more medicines? And it was like, Big Pharma did more money.
Yeah.
But so when you start tampering with that kind of stuff,
It's time to go.
it's another case of scandal. Like I told you, we living in a season of scandal right now. Olivia Pope is somewhere around. You know what I'm saying?
Cleaning up stuff.
Yeah.
Sad.
Wow.
Sad but true. Well, brothers, I think that's our time. It's most definitely been a long one, but it's been good, and I hope y'all are enjoying We did put, like in the last pod and on this one, there's an email address if anybody wants to, ask questions or have some things, and we can add that aspect to future pods of, people's feedback and questions or whatever. So you'll see that in the description, no matter where you found the pod. You'll see it in the description, the email down there. And we'd love to hear from y'all. We think, we hear from, people we know, but we love to hear from a lot of people we don't know who are listening. And I appreciate y'all for riding with us this far. And hopefully we can continue to deliver something that's distracting you from your work and are just keeping you company on your way home or to the job and all of that. We don't take that lightly. I appreciate being able to do that. And but like always, it's time to end this with a really bad toast.
Tell them, and if they don't agree with us, let us know.
Yeah,
I'm ready to engage.
Yeah.
I'm
ready to engage. All right, y'all. Raise your glass. We all fall, but we say don't trip. We all been called, but all stall a bit. We all stand tall until that time we slip. Just admit, without the grace of God, I'm really bad at this.